CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-279-0433 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repair again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-279-0433. That's 800-279-0433. What do you have to lose? Call 800-279-0433. Again, 800-279-0433.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is Aaron Warby, host of the Bulls and the Bears Radio Hour. In the show, we teach the tools, rules, and strategies that professionals use to outperform in the markets. Having those skills has never been more important than it is in our current economy. These are times that history teaches us that the masses are impoverished while the few making the right moves are gaining generational type wealth. At Online Trading Academy, we teach people just like you how to make the same moves at the same time as Wall Street elites. And right now, we have an end of summer special. Join us for an intensive 3-day market timing course covering the best of the trading and investing strategies of our time. Text us now and register for the course at 66% off the normal $299 price. Text $99 to 25029 and get this class for just $99. Again, that's $99 to 25029.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live from the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CC Phoenix, 99.3 FM.
And K240 U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Friday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And I think it's safe to say I don't want to talk about it.
Really?
No, I really don't want to. I mean, we're going to have to eventually, but I'd rather talk about some other things. Last night was horrible. My son, who's a Broncos fan, sent me a text message and said, hey, you got lucky there with that. You won the game. And I'm like, nobody won. There was no winners. There's only losers last night. It was horrific. I'd rather not talk about it. So luckily, there's something we can talk about before we get around to that ridiculousness. Okay. And that's the fact that the Major League Baseball postseason is here, Randy.
Yeah. Yeah. And boy, the St. Louis Cardinals just took one right in the shorts, giving up 6 runs in the 9th inning and losing game 1 of that 3-game wild card series.
All right. And so now the Mariners are giving it to the Blue Jays right now. They're 4-0 up on them, bottom of the 6th with 2 outs. So I'm trying to decide, and I want to try to do this kind of early, who I'm rooting for. Do you already have a team you're rooting for in these playoffs? Since the Diamondbacks are, they just missed it.
Yeah,
so.
I was rooting for the Cardinals, but I don't know what's happened. The light went off, and they're gonna have to make it up here pretty quick because if they lose another game, it's done for them, and they are over and out. Another team that I like the Mariners a lot. But listen, this is just the wild card round. When we get on to the next one, we'll have to wait and see how things progress. But I do like the Mariners. They're hot at the right time. They are strong on the road, and they have a pretty damn good pitching staff as well. So.
Yeah, I was kind of feeling that way because I, spent some serious time in the Pacific Northwest. I thought, all right, well, the Mariners haven't been there in a minute. Maybe I'll go ahead and, be another pasty pale fan of that team. But then I look over here and I'm thinking, how about Atlanta? Huh?
Well, Atlanta has come on here as of late, like they did last year. Atlanta has been very strong the second half of the season. As a matter of fact, they hunted down and passed the New York Mets, who, by the way, that was not an easy task. The New York Mets were in first place for like 100 days out of this season, and they have over 100 wins. So Atlanta really had to play good, had to play a lot of winning baseball, and then they had to beat the Mets straight up. So, another meltdown by the New York Mets. So Atlanta is a good pick. Jeff Combs.
You want to hear something funny? This is unrelated, but it is related. So I'm looking through my papers over here trying to find, because I know that at one point we had talked about who we thought might be in the postseason. And as I'm thumbing through the papers, I found this paper. They gave our predictions for the Arizona Cardinals. And I said 12. Keon said 11. Randy, of course, you said 16.
Yeah.
None of those are going to be right this year. Sorry. Anyway, Mets, by the way, you bring up, they've got pushed back to the wild card round by the Braves.
Yep.
I kind of want them to make it.
Why would you want that?
You want Atlanta to make it or the Mets?
I want the Mets to make it.
Why would you want the Mets to make it?
So if a team that I am pulling for, let's say Seattle makes it to the World Series, then I want the Mets to make it to the World Series. And then I want the Mets to lose.
Why?
Bruce Jacobs.
Okay, that's fair. All right, that's fair.
What's more painful, going out in the wild card or going out in the World Series to people who have a serious vitamin D deficiency? The Seattle Mariners.
I'm sure losing in the World Series would probably hurt more. I don't want to risk it because I do not like the Mets.
Oh, he'll be insufferable the entire way.
That's true.
And then it ends. Bam!
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But there's a chance once they get there.
Excuse me.
Thank you, Randy.
I don't know. I've been on this page for 5 minutes looking at everything that's happening here. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a damn ad plays.
So I'm conflicted on some of these things because then, the Yankees, I hate them. The Astros, I love to taunt them. The Dodgers, kind of hate them. And the Atlanta Braves, okay, I'm fine with those guys. I mean, is there a reason I need to not like them?
The Braves? No.
Yeah, can't think of any good reasons.
I can't think of any reason for you to dislike the Braves.
They're in my division, and I don't hate them.
Well, and they are the defending champs, and they play good ball. I mean, they're an all-around good team, and they've showed up at the right time. So, no, I have no problem with the Braves.
So if it was down to those four teams, absolutely, I'd just be rooting on the Braves until the wheels came off. The other teams involved, well, the Blue Jays, I'm not going to root for no damn Canadians. Let's see here. Tampa Bay Rays. Doesn't Tampa Bay have enough championships? Jesus.
Tampa Bay has gone to the World Series. Tampa Bay has never won the World Series.
Oh, I don't care about whether they've won or lost, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got a Super Bowl.
The Tampa Bay Lightning got some
Stanley
Cups.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So I'd kind of like to see Cleveland, it wins something. It'd be nice. Just saying. Something. Cleveland Guardians. They haven't. There's no reason for me to be mad at them, is there? Cleveland Guardians.
No.
I know there's a lot of people out there like, I can't root for a team because they're too woke. They changed their name. Unless they were still kind of racist. I'm not following them.
I think the Guardians and the Tampa Bay Rays are evenly matched. I think this is a series. This short wild card series is going to be a fun series. It's kind of like watching two evenly matched teams on Thursday Night Football that played last night that didn't score any touchdowns. Both of these teams can win, but I don't think they're going to go very far in the playoffs at all. I thought St. Louis was going to be strong and just sweep away the Phillies, but that team's not doesn't seem to be happening. I think the Mets will win the series against the Padres.
You know, and screw you, Padres, and your wonderful weather. Up yours, San Diego. That's enough reason for me to not like them. So what do you think is going to happen here? Who do you think is going to be the last four teams left for the ALCS and the NLCS? What do you? What is your gut telling you, Randy?
I think for the ALCS, it'll probably be well, you got to go through the DS first.
Well,
this is pretty difficult. I think. Hang on, let me.
You can chase the chalk and tell me the Yankees.
I hate to say that. I think the Yankees will be one of the final four teams, and I think they'll be in the ALCS.
Can the Mariners or the Blue Jays beat the Houston Astros?
I think the Astros will also be in the ALCS.
Yeah, I remember everybody's pouring ice all over themselves for the ALCS. Yeah. I don't know if that raised any money, but
I think the Dodgers and the Braves will be in the NLCS at this point. I don't see the Mets, Padres, Cardinals, or Phillies advancing to the NLCS, but I mean I could be wrong.
Can the Mets beat the Dodgers?
Well, the Mets have some great pitching, but the Dodgers, gosh, they're like a machine, man. They've gone through the NL and part of the AL this season like grease through a Christmas goose. I mean, they've had no problem winning over 100 games this season, and I don't see them slowing down.
So all I've got is the Braves. I
think the Braves is the best bet for you, Jeffco.
I'll root for the Braves unless the Seattle makes a go of it. You know, I'll root for Seattle for as long as that lasts, and then I'll root for the Braves for as long as that lasts. Braves can beat the Dodgers, right?
So I think they can. I think it's going to be.
They have to.
I think the Braves will either beat the Phillies, or if the Cardinals win. That's the wild card series. I think this would be the Cardinal Braves would be a great series to watch. I think the Mets advance on from the Padres, and it'll be Mets Dodgers in the NLDS, and I think that's going to be a wonderful series. But I think ultimately the Dodgers will probably end up winning. So they're the one seed for a reason. They had the best record in the National League.
Yeah, I know. Just Stockton Slap says, "Happy Friday, everyone. We made it. What a snooze fest yesterday." Hey, I don't think the show was that bad. Why would you say that about us?
Talking about something else.
Oh, because I don't want to talk about the game, so I'm just not going to acknowledge that.
Right.
Tell you what, Stockton Slap, I'll come around to the rest of your text here in a little bit when I finally feel like talking about that damn game. Same to you, Kyle G. Wing Guru says, "Let's go, Mets." Except for that last part, don't hold Bruce Jacobs against the rest of us Mets fans. No, listen, I got nothing against the Mets, and I got nothing against Bruce Jacobs. It's funny when he's upset, and if it hurts him a little bit, I guess that's okay too. But if the Mets were to be the underdog and win the World Series, I don't think I'd be mad about it. Do you guys have a distaste or a dislike for the Mets at all?
Yes.
Okay, now because of Bruce Jacobs.
Not just because of Bruce Jacobs.
It is now because he taunts you on a regular basis.
They're in the division, so I never liked them anyway.
Right.
But then Bruce became the actual personification of the Mets for me.
Made it worse.
Yeah. So then now there was a face there, and the face was laughing at me all season long and taunting me.
And now it's become a punchable face. What you had to do is walk up to him and said, "You see that video with Draymond Green and Poole? I just want to know if you've seen it." And just stand real close to him when you do that. Okay, Randy, how about you in the Mets? Are you got any problems with them? Any
I
issues?
have no problem with the Mets. No, I don't have any problem with the Mets, and I like their pitching staff. I just think that they have wasted the opportunity to go out and win their division. They started out strong. Everything was going well. They had Max Scherzer out there. Then DeGrom got hurt early in the season. He came back. He was throwing great, and then all of a sudden, he's just been kind of average down the stretch. So. Yeah, I mean, I like the Mets. Do I think they have a chance of going on to the World Series? No.
All right.
No,
So here's the thing. I understand that. And I'm looking for an upset. So whether it's the Guardians or the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, I'm rooting for whoever that is against the Yankees. If the Seattle Mariners can take out them pesky Canadians, I'll root for them against the Asterix. If it's the Blue Jays, I'm just not watching. Canadians.
The players are not Canadian, right?
Yeah, they are. They have to be. It's law. Don't you read? Anyway,
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is not Canadian.
That was one of the most Canadian names I've ever heard, Keon.
Yep. Yeah. All the Vladimirs.
You know what?
All the
Guerreros
oh boy. In Canada.
Wow. So I'll root against the Dodgers with the Mets, but I don't care. If it's San Diego, I'm out. Let's see if the Braves. Yeah, I'm good with the Braves. I don't need the Cardinals or the Philly to do anything, so I'm not worried about that. So I pissed off Big George. Wow, thanks a lot, Jeffrey. I live here in San Diego, and the Padres are about as lovable as a loser team there is. And now you crap all over them. You live in Carlsbad, don't you? You're like San Diego, sort of adjacent, George. Okay, it's not your home. And how far is Carlsbad from San Diego?
Not too far.
It's like 100 miles.
About a half hour.
Half an hour, George.
And while the San Diego Padres may have a history of maybe not being the best team, the amount of money that they are spending right now, they are not a lovable loser anymore. Might be lovable to you. They're not
fifth place.
They are spending boatloads of cash.
Speaking of cash, and now we've sort of gotten a picture of what the postseason is for Major League Baseball. And now I've got some interesting storylines to follow. What will happen with the Mets? What could happen with the Seattle Mariners? What's going to happen with the Braves? Whatever. So I got that to go on. So now Randy and I can watch some baseball, drink some beers, and I've got an interest in it. That's the part is when your Diamondbacks just never find the damn postseason anymore. You've got to find some September, October baseball to keep you interested. So that's what that was. But you mentioned something just moments ago about the Padres, and that was cash. Something's got to change. I'm going to start with the ending. What I'm about to tell you is Major League Baseball desperately needs a cap. They need a salary cap. They need a minimum and a maximum. You must spend at least this much. You can't spend more than this much. You will create parity, and then you won't have teams like the Diamondbacks who are just kind of skimming along, doing their thing to make money. You have a minimum and a maximum of what they have to spend. That needs to happen like right now. Why am I bringing this up? I saw a story said 100 win and 100 loss teams are piling up. And so from 2017 up till now, you've had 4 of those years have 100 win teams. Okay. So 2017, there were 3 100 win teams, 18, 3 100 win teams, 19, 4 100 win teams. 2021, there were 3. This year, there's 4: Astros, Dodgers, Mets, and Braves. Why is that a big deal? Well, in the history of baseball, up till 2007, there were only 5 years where you had multiple or even at all 100 win teams. So that's going to tell you something right there. Now, let me go to the other side of this. The 100 loss teams. Same damn thing almost. 2018, you had 3 100 loss teams. 19, 4. 21, 4. 22, you have 4. The Athletics, the Nationals, the Reds, and the Pirates. Thank God it's not the Diamondbacks. But still, do you see there's a canyon of difference between what's going on with our teams? There needs to be parity, not disparity. And the only way you're going to achieve that, tell me if I'm wrong, Randy. I mean, I get it. You can't force owners to care or go off their losing business model that makes them money. The only way to make this work is a salary cap, a minimum and a maximum.
I mean, I could see a salary cap being a good thing for baseball. It would certainly level the playing field somewhat. You still would have your teams like the New York Yankees, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Boston Red Sox, teams like that will spend a lot of money and attract the best players just because of who they are.
Sure. But then there's a cap, which means they can't spend all the money. They can't get all the good players. That means some of these other teams will have a chance at some of the better players.
However, you got your teams like the Golden State Warriors that are over the salary cap and pay a luxury tax every year. Am I wrong here or right?
I know the Lakers
the Lakers are paying the luxury tax.
And they're not worth it.
They're not good.
Well,
Washington Wizards are also now paying the luxury tax.
Okay,
they're not good either.
Even if you have a salary cap, even if you have this salary cap, there's still going to be a way to circumvent the salary cap and still have your teams like the Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox, and so on.
No. You know why? The NFL doesn't do luxury tax. The NFL says that is the cap. You mess with that, you lose draft picks. There is no luxury tax. Do it like the NFL, not like the mamby-pamby NBA, who says, here is the limit. No, okay, you go ahead. Just give me a tip. Just give me a tip.
The NBA has a soft salary cap, and it works for the NBA because there are fewer players. In the NFL and in Major League Baseball, the rosters are larger, so a harder cap is probably necessary. And I get what Jeffrey's coming from, because if you have a team that's the New York Yankees, you are always going to be able to attract top tier talent and all of that. And you're going to have advantages that, quite frankly, the Milwaukee Brewers don't have. The Marlins don't have. But it does mean that there is a limit to how far you can press that advantage, and you're going to get more players, but you're not going to get all the players, which is what the Yankees have historically done.
Let me see. If I'm Mike Trout, let me go this way. If I'm Shohei Ohtani, I'm a free agent, and I have teams vying for my services on their team. Let's say one team is the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's say this salary cap is going on. Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's say the New York Yankees. Let's say the Houston Astros, and let's say the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, if I'm Shohei Ohtani or I'm Shohei Ohtani's agent, which market do you think I'm going to look at?
Because who cares?
I'll be at the top of the market anywhere. He's going to go to New York. The New York Yankee ball players have all sorts of perks that somebody in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh team can't provide.
But that's the same
Arizona
thing with football
can't provide.
or basketball.
That's what
we used to think about the Knicks, but now it doesn't seem like there's a lot of perks there. Nobody wants to play for the Knicks.
If you have a salary cap, though, then that means that Shohei Ohtani goes to New York, and then New York has to look at their roster and look at their salary and go, one of these guys got to go, and now another team can get that.
Some good talent is going to go someplace else.
Get what you're saying, but the NFL, they have a hard salary cap, correct?
That's what I want for the Major League Baseball.
Okay, Deshaun Watson is a good choice. Well, how much is he making this year? Knowing the fact that he's going to be suspended possibly a year, the Browns finagled and worked out.
They're still working under a cap, Randy.
Well, what I'm trying to say is you're still going to have teams like New York and Boston and Los Angeles that are going to have the best players because they provide a more
only be able to get a couple of them and not all of them, like with what the Yankees do.
Like the Dodgers,
they won't be able to afford.
You said earlier yourself, the Dodgers are a machine. They're loaded.
It's a great thought, and I would love to see it work. I just have a feeling there would be ways to circumvent it, and you would still have teams like the Houston Texans that don't have any talent on their team. You would still have the Pittsburgh Pirates, Arizona Diamondbacks that could afford one or two premier players on their squad, but they certainly couldn't have 5 or 6.
All right, listen, let's talk about this more when we come back, because I think that the thought process now is, what does it take to make that salary cap happen? And that's the owners to vote on it and agree. I think more owners will agree to that than you think. Let's come back and talk about it some more. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update for Arizona's new home for sports, The Fanatic. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Looking at some top 25 college football matchups on Saturday, number 19 Kansas hosting TCU. The Horned Frogs a 7-point road favorite, minus 275. Kansas plus 220, over under 68.5. Number 25 LSU hosting number 8 Tennessee. The Volunteers a 3-point road favorite, minus 150. The Tigers at home in Baton Rouge plus 125, over under 64.5. One other top 25 game in the Pac-12, number 11 Utah taking on number 18 UCLA. Utah 3.5-point favorite, over under 64.5. Red hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwiners.com. Save 75% when you use the promo code ACTION75. Experts.winnersandwiners.com. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hi, this is Nick LaCapria with the Daily Sports Quiz. Alice Roth was the wife of a sports writer in Philadelphia, and one night she was hit with a foul ball, and it broke her nose. They had to stop the game. When the game resumed, they realized they needed to get Alice Roth out of the ballpark. She was in bad condition. But on her way out of the ballpark, another foul ball hit her again, this time breaking a bone in her leg. Who hit that foul ball?
When you want trivia from the world of sports, Daily Sports Quiz host Nick LaCapria has it. Baseball lovers, go online to baseballtrivia.org. Basketball fans, check out basketballtrivia.net. Football fans, head on over to footballtrivia.net. Hockey trivia, that's hockeytrivia.net. And boxing fans, log on to boxingtrivia.net. Stay tuned to this radio station for the Daily Sports Quiz, or visit Nick LaCapria's sports-specific trivia website.
The answer to today's Daily Sports Quiz: name the player that hit 2 foul balls that hit Alice Roth in the same at bat. Richie Ashburn. The odds of hitting a fan with a foul ball at a baseball game are 300,000 to 1.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with 0 down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-478-6688. That's 1-800-478-6688.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Sunday morning.
Let's go! The NFL returns to London with a matchup that is steeped in drama. The Giants picked up their 3rd win of the season last Sunday, but it came at a cost. Meanwhile, the Pack is beginning to come alive. I like that! Yeah! Aaron Rodgers, A.J. Dillon, and Aaron Jones leading the way. It's the Giants against the Packers this Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Live from London on your home for primetime NFL games. 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Stay the blender here on 1580, The Fanatic, and the Mariners hanging in there 4-0 over the Blue Jays. Top of the 8th, no outs. Let's see how that goes. Hopefully the fellows from the Pacific Northwest can put down these scurvy scum from Canada. Foreigners! Anyway, let's get caught up on the text line. We'll continue talking about the idea there should be a salary cap in Major League Baseball. Navy Devil says Major League Baseball union will never allow a salary cap. Are you telling the players union?
Yes.
Why? Oh, because the players.
Because the maximum amount of money that they can make, or at least the guys that can make the max money, they'll have a max. There'll be an actual cap to what they can make.
Who said? Why do they have a say in this? It should just be a thing
because
that
it's the collective bargaining agreement that
they can collectively kiss my ass. Listen, you're ruining baseball, buddy. Football can have a cap. An NBA can have a cap. I'm thinking there must be a cap for hockey too, right?
Yeah.
There's a cap for hockey, and there's also a soft cap for Major League Baseball. It's called a luxury tax. But anyway, go ahead.
Here's what you do: you take the union presidents on a trip.
And
then when you all come back, they're ready to vote.
And maybe he's not there.
Just saying. Kyle G says there's another way to motivate owners to care. It's called relegation. The bottom 4 teams go to the minor league, and the top 4 minor league teams, record-wise, become Major League Baseball teams. It's done every 2 or 3 years. You got to win games to stay in the league. If you get relegated, your players will leave and the fans will follow. Never going to work in the United States.
Yeah, no.
The whole soccer system was basically developed with these all of these leagues starting sort of at the same time, and one league is not feeding into the other league necessarily. So they're able to relegate teams because those teams that are down there, they're trying to get players from around the world themselves, and they don't have those same limits. A minor league baseball team can't create get enough talent to compete with major league teams. Once promoted, they'll be relegated within a year again. You're not fixing a problem here.
It's a fun idea. It's kind of a cool idea, but it's just not one that's going to work in only the United States. When you have the entire world to pull from, like soccer does, it's a little bit different, isn't it? But yeah, good idea, just ain't going to happen. Let's see. Boomer Sooner says, "Good day, gentlemen. Beautiful day in the valley. Randy can get a beer and a Boomer Sooner for the weekend."
I can't do a Boomer Sooner. Sorry.
What's the matter? Did you pull something?
Red River rivalry this weekend, and Boomer Sooner. I can't do that unless I play the Longhorn scream or whatever the bull thing.
Yeah, it's probably better you don't during that.
So unless you want me to sing Boomer Sooner to Bebo's bellowing, I have to pass on that. Yeah.
So are you abstaining because of Keon or because of your son?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't get a big head there, Keon.
I didn't. I appreciate it, but I didn't.
Yeah, listen. Any other day when they're not playing each other, I can go ahead and present you with a Boomer Sooner, and happy to do so. But no.
Boogie says Detroit Tigers are winning the World Series.
Boogie.
Yeah, probably the same year the Detroit Lions win the World Series.
I will say this: longtime executive and GM of the Tigers was relieved of his duties. He said duties.
Yeah, he did say duties.
I was at an event last night, and the guy said duties during a speech. I just giggled. Anyway, and then you've got a kind of a changing wind in Detroit. Don't count out the Tigers.
Okay. There you go. Well, sorry, Boogie. You lose on all accounts. Pinocchio says, Chipper, don't call me Larry Jones, is plenty of reason to hate the Braves.
What's wrong with Chipper Jones?
He's no longer an active player. He's associated with the team. He's Hall of Famer. What's wrong
with
Chipper
Pinocchio?
Jones?
Did you do something we're not aware of? Because you might have done something dirtbaggish. I don't know. Wing Guru, yes, he says, let's go Mets. I'm going to get back to you on the other thing in a bit. Let's see here. Billy from Phoenix says, here we go with the Alice Roth trivia again.
Hey, listen, I mean, you feel blessed that you get to hear this on a regular basis on this radio station.
Big George says, so let me get this straight. You guys hate the Padres for spending money. I don't hate the Padres or resent them for having such nice weather.
I never said anything about the Padres.
The reason why the money came up, Big George, is you said they were lovable losers. And any team spending $165 million, they're not losers. That's my point.
They're in 5th place in the National League. So
no one hates them because of the money, but they're not losers. You're not going to
work that narrative anymore. You're not going to get sympathy or adoration based on that.
They have a top, if I'm not mistaken, they have literally the 5th highest payroll in baseball, George.
He said, well, you cheer for the Braves who do the same thing. And Keon, your Nationals were just as guilty when they won their World Series. They paid to have a good team that season when they got Max Scherzer and Bryce Harper. Not sure why there's so much hate for the Padres and the Blue Jays. Well, the Blue Jays, I told you, they're friggin' Canadians. That's why. And Padres, they have nice weather.
We're just having this conversation, Big George. You have to pay to win in Major League Baseball. That is just a fact.
You have to pay to win, Keon, but you have to know what the hell you're doing.
That is correct.
And the Padres
win the game.
Yeah, Padres apparently have not done their due diligence in paying for the right people.
Exactly. And I'm not sitting here hating on the Padres because they paid to be a good team. They are not lovable though, and they're as losers when you're paying $165 million. You're just not.
I kind of hate their stupid brown outfits they wear. Yeah,
I think they're kind of cool. Throwback.
Like, come on, man. The 70s called. And they said, please update your damn uniform.
A lot of people love those uniforms.
Yeah, I think they're stupid in your nice weather. It's just really, for me, it's all about the nice weather. All right, let's talk about this.
Why did we finish our discussion on the salary cap? Because I have a question to ask you guys.
Okay.
In the past 2 decades, nearly every club, including the Chicago Cubs and the Detroit Lions, have been to the playoffs and had opportunities to win championships. And if you think that a salary cap would be favorable, I give you this from 2021. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays, who, by the way, went to the playoffs, had a $76.86 million payroll. The Marlins, Orioles, Guardians, and Pirates all have payrolls that are less than $76 million. The Pirates being the lowest at $50 million. How would a salary cap have changed those teams if they're not going to spend more?
Minimum and a maximum. Well, there has to be a minimum threshold that you meet to be competitive, and you're forced to.
So the point I'm trying to make is, if these owners are not willing to spend more than X amount of dollars because they A, can't raise that type of money, B, they don't want to spend that type of money, and they're extremely selfish and just want to collect it for themselves, then how are you going to expect them? So they'll make the minimum salary cap. Okay, great. But that doesn't mean they're going to be great every year.
Yeah, but at least there's more parity when that happens. Listen,
I don't know.
And here's how I'm going to make this work. I'm going to get the Major League Baseball union, and I'm going to get the owners, and get everybody in the same. And I'm going to say, because I said so, that's why. That's why I need to be emperor. Guy could just say, boom, this is what you're doing, and that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I could see it right now. Being carried around on your sedan.
Union of players.
Yeah.
Group of owners. Hear my words. From thence forth, hence shalt you do these things.
Wow. What?
Don't complain about my emperor speak. What should the minimum be, by the way?
I don't know. Look at the very top. What are the Yankees and Dodgers paying their what's their salary?
Yankees putting out $282 million. Dodgers at $275 million.
Can you tell me how much the Tampa Bay Devil Rays are putting out? Can you tell me how much the Phillies are putting out?
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay. Put the Phillies in there. The Phillies are.
The Phillies are a top 5 spender too. The Phillies are sitting there at $255 million.
There's a reason for this.
Tampa Bay is down at $104 million below the league average, which is $163.
What is the Pirates at? What are the Pirates
league average? How about this? Okay, you shall spend at least $150 million and no more than $210 million. There it is right there. League average is 165. I'm setting the bar to bring other people up and some of these other people down. How's that? 210? Is that too high? What do you think? 200?
I'm thankful that you're thinking along these lines. I just don't see how this is going to change.
What's a good number for the cap, though? I'm serious. What's a good number for the cap? 200, Keon? 180? 190? What? Between 150?
I think 210 is probably.
Well, then that's a good $60 million range. So you have to spend at least 150. Thou shalt not spend more than 210. Who's mad at that? That's not in the room.
That's not a player in the players' union.
I'm not mad at it. I just don't see how it helps. Because I still say that teams.
I'll tell you how it helps. It also will help spread the money around amongst the players. Now, when you have the Major League Baseball Players Union, there's a small number that get the mega million contracts. Everyone else settles down to sifts down to the silt, right? So if you're saying, well, here is the cap, you can only spend this much for these, but now you got to spend more money goes around and more people are elevated in how much they're making, it's a done deal. I think if the Major League Baseball Players Union thinks about it, it's not everybody who gets the ginormous contracts,
except for the guys that are representing the players like Fernando Tatis Jr., who just made $300 million over 10 years.
Not my problem. I'm talking about all the other guys. It's a numbers game. If you have a vote.
You're saying it's not your problem, but that all equates into this salary cap number.
So
that you're
Tatis will not vote yes. But all these other guys who aren't making very much money, they're going to vote the hell out of yes. You see what I'm saying?
So I can win $160 million in 3 years.
I can win the union over. It's just the owners that you have to convince.
Maybe the guys that you're elevating to a higher number, you'll win over. But even guys that are not at the high end, if they're making more than the league average, they're going to see their pay get crunched down to fit the average.
See,
they're not going to vote for that.
We will grandfather in the contracts that already existed for these some of these players, but everything else starts to settle down. That's what I would do.
So let's look at this. Even if you you have this salary cap in place, you're still going to have general managers that are unable to put together a good ball club, no matter what you're.
Case in point, in the NFL.
Maybe the NFL, but I could give you examples there. Case in point, the Arizona Diamondbacks got a lot of great young talent out there. We paid so much money for one guy who eats up the majority of our quote unquote salary that we can't have anybody else on the team. And we're overpaying a mediocre player who is not up to major league standards, but we think he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know why? Because we don't know how to rate talent. If you're going to have a salary cap in place and you're going to bring in players, then you've got to have somebody in the front office that knows what the hell they're doing. And the problem with the majority of these teams that suck is they don't have the leadership that they need to build a quality team. The Boston Red Sox have one of the highest payrolls in the country, and they still can't field a championship team. For the past 3 seasons, they have been terrible.
Boston's actually number 6, right behind the Padres.
I need somebody to come feed me grapes. Working as the emperor is exhausting here. You're not making it any easier, Randy. I'm going to say I'm only focused on the salary cap part. We can start working on fixing the other stuff another time, but now we have to take a break.
All right.
When we come back, other things that are designed to keep me from having to talk about last night's horrible ass game. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Business people like it straight and to the point. So here it is. Bruce Jacobs here to tell you take control of your utility expenses by calling Harmon Solar right now. They can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with 0 down and no payments for 12 months. Level your energy costs, protect yourself from inflation. How's that for straight and to the point? Here's more. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TAP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TAP to 321-321. That's TAP to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Go into Ben Bridge and ask to speak to a bridge. They aren't there. Shane Company, no one named Shane there. Robbins Brothers has been owned by a VC firm for years. Jared, that name came from a focus group. Hi, Diamond Dave Cantor, the only wholesale 4th generation diamond importer, GI graduate that you can actually meet in person. At Desert Wholesale Diamond, I'm importing the diamonds, designing and coordinating the custom rings, and I'm here. Deal with a full-bore retail store. You're paying their huge overhead, their shareholder profit, and multiple mid-level managers. Buying a diamond is a major life moment purchase. You should be dealing with the source, and I'm it. We're in a professional office building to give you the one-on-one service a purchase like this deserves. I'm connected to the largest diamond cutters in the world, cutting out all the layers that add to the price of a diamond.
Call 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow Dave on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
And now a small business setback is assessed by a beloved family pediatrician.
Oh, hey, Tiger. Big scary tree branch give your work truck a boo-boo? Yeah. Wow. See this thing on my phone here? It's the Progressive mobile app. Just push that little button there and report your claim. Attaboy.
When owning a small business gets painful, Progressive Commercial is here to make it all better. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
What's this? Candy drawer? Who wants a lollipop?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms and conditions. Total claims not available in all states or situations.
Just do it every day.
Do it several times a day.
Because it feels that good.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
Get the latest sports headlines.
The buzz around the league. Listen to podcasts.
Stay up with social media.
Just log on to our website
at 1580thefanatic.com.
It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, so let's get caught up on the text line and see what's what. Boogie says, Tires have been to the World Series twice over the past 16 years, and they had one of the highest payrolls in the major leagues when they did so. We absolutely need salary caps and ceilings. Tires?
I think you meant Tigers.
You kind of need a G in there because now just thinking about Michelin's and Hankooks and whatever those tires are you might have on a vehicle, but no, Tigers. Okay, well, that makes sense. Hey, as long as you agree with me, I'm fine with that. Joe the Show says, when two men are nuts, two nuts and chest to chest, whether they're right or wrong. Oh, okay, we're not talking about that yet. Okay, so I think he's insinuating that Draymond Green is nuts and maybe Jordan Poole might be nuts too. We're going to come back around to that, Joe the Show. I'm going to keep you, mark you as unread for now. We'll get back to that. Big George says he agrees with Randy. Jeffrey and Keon are trying to make Major League Baseball a communist organization with all this inequality talk. It's not about communism.
And what is the NFL communist? Is the NBA communist because there are caps? Is that really
trying to force teams to be competitive? You know what would make me happy? Even then, I don't know. It won't work though. I was going to say, what if we just had a minimum amount you had to spend? And then Randy was right. They'll spend it on the wrong crap like the Diamondbacks do. I think there needs to be a structure to it. So, but it's not
look, we've seen it with all the other sports with the cap. Just because the cap exists, and Randy said this earlier, doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to stop teams from being stupid. That part is going to continue to exist regardless.
You can't do nothing to stop people from being stupid. Straight Striper says professional owners make money regardless. Why would they tap into their bottom line to bring high-paid players in if they won't compete for a title? If they can't be a champion, number one, they'll never care about the fans, and two, the only thing they care about is profit and loss on the balance sheet, i.e., your Arizona Diamondbacks. You know, that's true. And so trying to set a level where they're forced to compete, you know, I mean, people should lose their teams if they're not trying.
See, one of the things that really, I scratch my head, and they have these media contracts that come out, these multi-billion-dollar media money that comes out. And quite frankly, if you're a team that can't compete and you cannot make a team competitive, then I don't think you should get the same share. Let's say the Diamondbacks get the same share as the New York Yankees of the media money. I don't think that's right. If you're the New York Yankees and you're winning championships back and forth and you're always going to the playoffs and you're always competitive and you always are making a certain attendance goal, and the Diamondbacks don't do that and they bring in one or two guys, or they have some meathead out there that they think is a great ball player and he's really not because you're ineptitude in your front office, then I don't think you should get the same amount of money as the Yankees.
Just like if you're spending below the league average and your team hasn't been above 500 in 5 years, they should just cut you out from the TV money. They just cut you off entirely until you figure it out.
That's interesting.
See Pittsburgh Pirates, see the Arizona Diamondbacks, see, some of these teams that are just eternal bottom of the barrel, the Colorado Rockies, bottom of the barrel teams.
You know, we can't fix anything until I'm emperor. I think that's all there
that
is
is
to
true.
it.
Yeah.
So, Chief Skull says, why have a salary cap when the salary cap is just a number? Because especially in the NBA, they go over the salary cap and get charged. Well, I covered that earlier by saying you'll lose draft picks. It's like the NFL. You're not allowed to do it. You just don't. And yes, thank you, Chief Skull. He says, afternoon. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday. Boogie's tires. Oh, them tires are worn out. Silly Wabbit says, what's missing in this conversation about salary cap is the fact that when teams go high above it, that money comes from somewhere. And it usually comes from overpriced tickets and concessions that hurt ordinary people that want to see games. They keep raising the prices, and sports entertainment will only be for the elite. Well, being someone who's elite, that's okay for me. But if I'm emperor, I'm going to make it easy for you little people as well.
And I will say that just because, I mean, you say that, but the problem is our current system has teams that are bad that the average fan can't afford to go to either. I remember being a kid and we lived in Texas, and I wanted to go see the Houston Astros when they were terrible. We couldn't do it. We couldn't afford to go see them. You know, it's just like, you know, both my parents were nurses. We just didn't have the money.
You can feel the same way about the Arizona Cardinals to get decent seats. If you want to do a, season tickets or even some single game stuff, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah. Like
that's a lot of money.
Forcing teams to compete does not make the average fan more likely or less likely to go to a game because tickets are already expensive, man.
Yeah, man. Listen, the owners aren't going to pay these exorbitant salaries. You and I are. The average person that wants to go and see the ball game is going to cost us in a beverage. It's going to cost us in a hot dog, and it's going to cost us in the seat we take up in their stadiums.
As emperor, I say, let them watch TV. Still be a fan watching on TV.
Yeah. Well, that's the way I do it. Yeah.
Kiss the Cook says, Tom and Giselle are breaking up. Why is this happening? Leonardo DiCaprio's back on the market.
I don't think anybody told Giselle that she's not.
Well, they used to date.
Did they?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh.
I don't know. Yeah, that new story that's coming out saying that she's angry because it's a sexless marriage. What a load of garbage that is. That is just, see, now we're into the dumb rumor version. At first, it was she ain't happy because he's off playing football and she's been wanting him to quit for a long time. That's plausible. But that she's sitting around waiting for sex. No. That's just, no.
And she stayed this whole time?
Stop.
Nah,
Stop.
I don't really believe that.
She's Brazilian.
And
Big
she could have left
George.
at any time.
Yeah, that's the other thing. She ain't hanging around because she doesn't have money for a cab. Big George says Diamondbacks have the cheapest tickets in baseball, so that's not an issue. Also, the Diamondbacks do actually spend money on players. They just spend it on the wrong ones. Yeah, that's what Randy said earlier. See, all the money Ken Kendrick doled out for Greinke, Bumgarner, and Marte. Yeah, they spend it foolishly. That's their problem.
You're right.
Yeah, and I don't know how to govern something like that. I think the people who should govern that, force them to spend an X amount of money, and then when people aren't going to the games and start complaining, you start listening, and maybe hire some competent people. Chief Skull says, anybody care about Tom Brady and Giselle? What is this, 1580 The Inquirer? No, I really don't care. It's none of our damn business.
Somebody texted that in.
The only part of this, and I mentioned this yesterday, where it's a learnable thing for us as men, is any relationship you're in, it's not fair of you to expect somebody to change who they are to be in a relationship with you. In this case, it's the other way around, where the woman is expecting the man to change who he is to be with her. Well, that's how he was when he showed up. So I don't think it's really fair. Now, again, don't know the details. Could be so many other things and issues behind this. That's none of my damn business. But if you present that to me, that's why, then that's my opinion. And as men, we should never expect women to change who they are for us. It's just, be who you're going to be. That's why I always tell everybody, don't get married until you're like 26, maybe 30 even. 30 is a perfect age to get married because that's when you are fully realized as a person. Between the ages of 18 and 26 or 30, the foods you like are going to change, the TV shows you like, the movies you like, a lot of things you like are going to change. Now, a lot of it won't, but enough of it will to where you end up being a different person at some point, kind of. And it's not fair to do that to people, to change on them like that. So when you show up, be fully realized and don't get married to somebody who isn't. So that is the whole, point for me as I look at that. Don't expect people to change who they are for you. You have to be okay with who each of you are. And that's how you coexist. Joe the Show says, happy Friday, fellas. Me and my cojones survived another week in Arizona. How about that? Grill Master Randy, beer me. I might actually go down and grab myself a beer while I do this.
I think you should.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, Keon, you know the rules. The FCC regulations prohibit you from any kind of alcoholic enjoyment while you're touching that board, running the board. Now, don't try to think like, I'm not touching it. Glug, glug, glug. Yeah, you can't drink and drive this show. So,
well, I've got to put that away now.
Yeah, Randy and I pretend I didn't hear that.
Yes, Keon.
I kid.
Randy and I have no responsibilities at all to, well, I'm going to leave it there. All right. So remember the guy who caught Aaron Judge's 60-second home run ball there?
Yeah.
He's already been offered $2 million for it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
$2 million. Mm-hmm. And if he's smart, the answer is no. The answer has got to be no, right? You hold on to it for a while and it's going to go up in value. This is a guy who works in finance. Of course he knows better. There's no way he is going to give that thing up for less than $4 million. That's what I would do. And like you said, Randy, rent the thing out while you're waiting to find out.
And the Hall of Fame comes calling. Well, yes, you can take this ball and you can have it on display in the great halls of the Baseball Hall of Fame for a slight fee.
Oh, you better get it insured too. You got to get that thing insured because if somebody steals it or something there's a fire or something. Yeah. Oh, you got to have that thing covered.
Hello, Lloyd's of London. I have a baseball I need you to insure for me.
So, they offered him $2 million. I don't think he's going to do anything with that. But here's the interesting thing. The people who know are saying, it's not just the ball. What about the bat that hit it? What about the uniform he had on while he did that? They're saying that stuff could be worth millions as well.
Well, I think Major League Baseball will go ahead and take that and send that to Cooperstown for sure.
Yeah, only if he gives it to them. Aaron Judge is smart. He grabs it, signs it, puts it in a closet for a while, and later on when he maybe needs a little walking around money, hey, look what's for auction. This is the bat I used. You got to be smart. Tom Brady's got a bunch of those cards, and he's even said this. He sees like a rookie card or some card going for like $1 million, and he's like, I've got one of those at home. I think. Noted, because I guess what I also have at home, a pen. Mine will be signed. So yeah, Aaron Judge, don't give that stuff to Cooperstown, man. Don't give up any of that stuff if it's going to be worth. That's $1 million. That's $1 million. That's a couple million. No. You hold on to that. They can't force him, right, Randy? They can't say give it to us.
No, but I think Major League Baseball can, because it's not technically his uniform. It's assigned to him by the team. So the team can willingly give that to the Hall of Fame.
Damn. No.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
They don't buy their own uniforms, man.
Seriously,
it makes sense, but I didn't know that. I hadn't thought about that.
Now, as far as the bat goes, I think he buys his own bats. If I understand right, I think these guys they get a model bat. And if it's not part of their contract for the team to pay for the bat, they buy their own bats, whatever it is.
Wait a minute.
Louisville Slugger or whatever, brand it is they're using.
You remember Kevin Pillar, right?
Yes.
The guy who took a ball to the face the same day old LeBron fell down. But Pillar jumped up and like a man was back doing his thing while LeBron's like, that guy. Right. The guy who donated all those cleats, his own personal cleats to the charity. Were those not his cleats to give to the charity?
Well, it depends because
they give him those cleats
in spring training. Major League Baseball players, especially the guys that are like the top guys, they get given gloves. They'll have 2 or 3 or 4 gloves. They'll have
the
cleats.
Shoe company maybe gave them
the shoe
cleats,
company will give them cleats, but that's not something.
I ain't saying that Kevin Pillar was wrong to give those to us. And we never
No,
told kids that they were his, so they wouldn't try to sell them on eBay.
Well, it's what I'm saying. I think shoe companies, things like that, they give the players.
Okay.
I know in the NBA, there are actually sites with codes that the players can go to. They just order free shoes. So I don't know if it works the same way in MLB, but if you got a contract, with the team, it'll work
He's
out
an
that way.
upstanding citizen. I wasn't trying to insinuate, but then I realized when he gives us all those shoes and we gave them to kids, I was like, oh my God, am I an accessory now?
No.
Okay. Well, Aaron Judge should get to keep his jersey and his ball and bat and all that.
Yeah.
It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TAP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TAP to 321-321. That's TAP to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
Hey guys, it's Stephen McCollum from the main event here on 1580 The Fanatic, and it's a football weekend with some Major League Baseball playoffs sprinkled in. Monday, we recap the wild card round of Major League Baseball, and we look ahead to the rest of the playoffs. ASU takes on Washington, Arizona has Oregon, and the Cardinals face the Eagles. We have all your football coverage on Monday, so join me, Stephen McCollum, on the main event, Monday through Friday, noon to 2 p.m. here on 1580, 99.3 FM, The Fanatic.
At Lowe's, every pro is an MVP to us. That's why MVP's rewards members can earn bonus points on select products from brands like DeWalt, Purdy Paint Applicators, and GRK Screws. Then redeem your bonus points for exciting rewards like tools, grills, Lowe's gift cards, and more. Join Lowe's MVP's Pro Rewards today to start earning. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any, subject to program terms. While supplies last. Visit Lowe's.com/MVP's bonus points for details. Now through 10/28.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM
and K242 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
For what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. All right, from all that Major League Baseball talk in the last hour, let me clean up the text line, and we're going to move on to a little more basketball, and at some point, yes, we'll have to talk about the ugliness, the horrific display from last night. You talk about you know, how you could have the Premier League and then the lower leagues. Well,
Hmm.
I found 2 teams for the lower leagues last night on Thursday Night Football. We'll talk about that in a bit.
I just want to say about that. I won't go into detail, but there's one guy on this show that picked correctly that game last night. I don't want to go any farther than that.
No, he's
There's
wearing a
one-
periodic table of beer shirt, and he drinks an awful lot. So there's no way we could have taken that seriously.
I
But
mean-
still, congratulations.
There's one guy on the show that, you know, a win is a win.
No,
That's what I
don't
will
start.
say.
Don't start your
Well,
say. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Anyway, King of Kitten says, speaking of nice weather, summer is over. Feels like San Diego. Randy, man, it's nice outside.
It is beautiful outside, and it's going to get even better.
Yeah, but pump the brakes. It gets hot in the next week. But go ahead,
Well,
Randy.
it does get a little warm, but listen, this is the cool down here in what we call Arizona. And we're overnight lows start to get down in the mid to upper 60s. Yeah, you heard me right. And we're looking for a high today of 92. Right now, 91 degrees. And there's a slight chance of some showers before the evening is over with. Thunder showers. You know what I mean.
I can
you know
use
what
a
I mean.
shower.
Anyway, it's going to get cool this weekend, even down into the 80s. But yeah, like Jeffrey says, it goes back up to the 90s by the end of next week. But beautiful outside. Enjoy the evenings. It's nice to sit out on the patio. From the 1580 The Fanatic Weather Center, Chief Meteorologist Randy White. Back to you, Jeff. Go.
Yeah, I saw Friday 97. So next
I don't know
Friday.
where you're seeing that.
Well,
I've
on the
got next
long-term
Friday
forecast.
I've got next Friday is 87.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Okay.
I have
Yeah,
next
that wouldn't be
Friday
so bad.
as 87.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? What's wrong? 87.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't have to tell you everything. All right. So let's, like I said, get caught up on the text line. Wing Guru says, happy Friday, Blender Boys. Well, Jeffco wins the win, no matter how ugly. But good God, that was probably the worst football game I've seen in a long, long time. Speaking of ugly, yes, Rando is correct. Cardinals took it in the shorts. Boy, that was a weird, ugly ninth inning, Randy.
Yeah. I mean,
in the shorts.
You would have thought a team that is like the St. Louis Cardinals would have come in and shut it down. Philly's got some. They don't call them the Fighting Phils for nothing, and they're still playing. As good as they can, as best they can, and they want to move on to the ALD or the NLDS. So don't rule them out. They now have the upper hand on the St. Louis Cardinals. We'll see what happens in the next game.
Kyle G says, Jeffrey, shotgun for the Colts and Broncos isn't a formation. It's the end of Old Yeller. They need to be put out to pasture. It's now. Lucas Oil Glue Factory and the Mile High Horse Ranch in the sky. These teams are dead. Dead, I tell you. But don't get upset, fans. All our times must come. Do not fear the Reaper. Wow. He's basically giving these two teams a death sentence. That might be too good for him after what we saw last night. Thunder Snow says, what did I move to San Diego? What's with all this damn Padres talk? Well, we're not going to do that anymore, Thunder Snow. So yeah. Joe the Show says, hey, we're going to talk about that right now. He says, when two men are nuts to nuts and chest to chest, whether they're right or wrong, being family members, teammates, strangers, well, that's all out the window. Anything can happen and is to be expected. Michael Jordan clocked Steve Kerr, and Childs clocked Kobe. Poole learned to value a lesson. Better to walk away or shut up when messing around, especially with an emotional fool. Yeah, so you're talking about how Draymond Green, I don't know what Poole said, because he said something. Poole said something, and that was what people are saying. He said something you can't get back, you can't walk back from. So whatever it was, Draymond Green walks over and says, the hell did you say? And then Poole pushes him away. And then Draymond Green says, well, this isn't a push fight. This is a punching fight. And I don't know if he knocked him out, but he certainly one punch knocked him down. And it was a good punch. It's not appropriate, not right, but you got two men talking to each other and one man forgets that this ain't Twitter. The other man might punch you out. And so now, of course, people are talking about, well, Draymond Green, what's going to happen? He's going to get disciplined from this and that. I want to know what Jordan Poole said. I think that should matter in the discipline hearing. You know what I'm saying?
It should, which is why I'm not going to sit here and act like Jordan Poole deserved to get hit. because I
He
don't know
might
what
have.
I don't know what he said. He might have, but he might not have. So I don't know what he,
Yeah.
without knowing what he said. It's not a good look for all parties involved.
Maybe he said something about his mama.
Well,
No,
that'll
do it
That would get Draymond off my hook at least.
for me too. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a video. If you haven't seen the altercation, it's a good one. I mean, it's straight up manly, if you ask me. You know, he walks over to him, says, "The hell do you say?" Cool pushes him. He's like, "No, not a push fight." Boom, and that was it. Down. And it looked almost like he went to try. Draymond Green tried to catch him from going down. Like he punched him, saw him going down. It's like, oh, you know, like I don't want you to hit your head or something.
Which is on brand for Draymond, because Draymond is the kind of guy who will foul the ever-loving bleep out of you and make sure you don't fall too hard, because he's not trying to kill you. He's just trying to foul you.
That's at least what I saw. Or he was going after me and like, I'm going to hit you a few more times. So you remember this. Joe the Show says, no, Draymond's a good dude. After he snuck him a good one, he actually caught and cradled the back of his head. That's a teammate right there. Yeah, I mean, it could be seen two ways. We weren't close enough to see it for sure. Boogie says, I punch out Donnie and Chief Skull all the time on Twitter.
I have bad news.
No actual violence at our remote broadcast. So
Yeah. Well, yeah,
keyboard warriors.
When you actually own someone on Twitter, it's not called punching.
It's not?
No.
What's it called?
I mean, you call it whatever you want.
So you could call it punching
Well,
out?
you said call it whatever you want. He calls it punching out Donnie and Chief Skull on Twitter.
But don't call it punching, because it's not that. It's not.
I said you can call it whatever you want.
Okay, to be fair,
You really got to be a little more.
I thought it was, to be fair, I thought it was implied. Don't call it the thing that it's clearly not. But okay, I've got to spell it out because
you say
it's implied. The implication being, don't call it the thing that it's not. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'll
But
spell
you
it.
screwed up and said call it whatever you want.
Like I said, I thought it was implied. I will spell it out.
So here's what you
don't
say.
call it fighting. Don't call it punching. It is not those things.
So here's how you should have phrased that. You call it anything but.
True.
Now nobody can mess with you.
I
But
just
you
think
screwed
that
up.
implied in the context of the sentence I said, if you were not capable of getting that, I don't know what I can't even help
Have you not noticed how everybody on our text line is suddenly a lawyer if you say the wrong thing?
I have noticed that. Yes. I mean, and we're talking like you misspeak. You say one thing that's very similar and you clearly meant to say something else.
Yeah.
And then everybody on the text line is just on your back.
Well, Randy and I included.
Immediately.
888-368-1580.
The fourth dimension, which I suppose includes all this.
Random texter says, I'm a huge Matt Ryan fan from his BC days. I don't think he was alive before Christ.
Yeah.
I don't.
Boston
think so.
College.
Oh, but he should have turned down the Indy money and just retired. Reich needs to go in Indy too. He's decimated a phenomenal O-line and continues to use retread quarterbacks. Yeah, I can't argue. Can't argue with the thing you just said. I don't know about him decimating the O-line. I don't know. I guess you could make a case for it if some of his play calls were bad and the quarterback held the ball too long, which caused the O-linemen to have to fight longer and harder, and that's what caused the injuries. But that's kind of a stretch. But I hear you, Random.
Did you say men fighting longer and harder? Is that what you said?
Fighting.
Do you see what I'm talking about? Keon?
Causing
Like
men
you got
to
to get it right.
Causing
You
men
got to get it right.
I've learned a
fight
valuable
longer and
lesson
harder?
today.
Or that happens.
Yeah.
I've learned a valuable
I
lesson.
can't believe
today.
you just said that on a Friday version of the Daily Blender.
See, and it's the
Causing
Fridays
men
too.
To fight longer and harder.
And she'll like it too.
Just turn it to a Nugenics ad very quickly.
Why not? If only I got paid for that. Big George says, can we talk about the awful football game yesterday between the Colts and the Broncos? All this negativity towards my baseball teams are getting me depressed.
Big
George, we're getting there when we feel like it, George.
Big George, we'll get there.
Get over it, George. Kiss the Cook says, sad game last night. Both teams needed serious help from Summit Male Medical. Yeah, they could get it up the field, but they just couldn't get it in. Well, getting it up is
for an erection lasting more than 4 hours.
Yeah, get it up is the purview of Summit Male Medical. Getting it in, well, you probably need to read some books that Leonardo DiCaprio wrote or something.
You might need glasses if that's a problem you're having.
Yeah. Trust me. We're going to talk about it. I don't want to. Boomer Sooner says, Jeffrey, what they do is piece the whole uniform bat ball together on a mannequin in the Hall of Fame there. If they can, there's no rules that say they have to. The player may be forced by Major League Baseball to give up what is Major League Baseball's, but that fan now owns that ball. And if Randy's right, Judge owns that bat. So whatever. We'll see, man. Chief Skull says, if they had a salary cap and regular people can sit in your seats, you might have a garbage man who caught that ball and would gladly have given it away for just $500,000.
Are you kidding me? There's people out there like this guy that caught this ball that are very, what am I thinking of? They are trying to sit in the right seat. They're paying extra money to be in a certain situation. This is a career move for some of these people.
There are some of these folks who will literally sit down and go, okay, Aaron Judge hits the ball 80% of the time here. And it goes roughly this far. Yeah. And then they sit right there and play the odds.
Yeah. And listen, power to them. Power to them. I'm not going to get too much upset about that. Stockton Slap says, happy Friday, everybody. We made it. What a snooze fest yesterday. I mean, just giving the ball away to the other team. So much kicking of the ball. Such a low score. Is this what you see when you watch soccer? Is that what this is?
Yes. Except worse. At least there were field goals. In soccer, you rarely see a goal.
More scoring in this game than soccer. Think about that.
But essentially, this game was soccer. Essentially.
Horrible. Yeah. Anyway, Straight Striper says you can't ever punch someone over words, especially at work. But to be fair, everybody knows when they deserve a punch in the mouth. Do they, though? I don't know that they do. They're
that's a little generous of you.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't know before, you certainly know after. And that was probably a life lesson for Poole.
And sometimes you get punched in the mouth by somebody who is actually being unreasonable. Like, you don't always earn. Steve Kerr to this day doesn't think he deserved to be punched by Michael Jordan. He just got punched by Michael Jordan.
But isn't it refreshing, though, guys,
that somebody got punched by Michael Jordan?
That it was throwing hands instead of somebody going to their car and breaking out a weapon and just unloading a magazine on somebody over something that you said. Isn't it refreshing that this is sort of old fashioned? Remember, Jeffrey, back in the day, somebody said something about you would throw hands with them and then it's over. It's done.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you just don't know what's going to happen. A guy could come in with a damn grenade launcher and just blow up the entire place.
I have to be honest, that wouldn't be the worst thing that I would see. Because I was always the guy in Call of Duty or Ghost Recon with the grenade launcher. I love a grenade launcher. As long as it's recorded. But no, listen. Yeah, of course
you see
you're right.
My point, right?
I see your point, but we can't say, hey, it's not gunfire, it's just a punch, but still, it's not something that's acceptable.
I get that. I get that. But at least these two guys now can move on from this. Nobody is hurt over this thing. I mean, Jordan Poole, baby's got a little swelling, but listen, after everything has been said and done, Green apologized. I'm sure this will be something that we're not going to go there again.
And look at this. We're talking about the Warriors too, aren't we? Jerry Jones looking at this saying, all right, here's what I need you to do. Oh, woo, listen up here. You're going to go over there, Cooper Rush. I need you to punch Dak Prescott's mama right in the face. And
punch his mama in the face?
Well, that's the only way you can one-up it is, you got to bring family members in,
Everyone's going to be watching the Dallas Cowboys. They got to wonder if Cooper Rush going to punch somebody's mama in the face. Woo! Because after Dak comes back, you ain't playing. You ain't playing.
I am. Jerry, Dak's mom is no longer with us.
Hey, Dak, you got an auntie? You got auntie, grandma, sister, niece, cousin? I'll get you a whole damn suite. Straight Striper says, I guess up to that point, there's too many good points, rational conversation, and sanity on this show today. How can we derail this and make it a normal Friday? Mission accomplished. I think we did that all on our own right there. Scratch Me Because says Nathaniel Hackett, more like Buddy Hackett, except for if my memory's correct, didn't Herbie the Love Bug win the race?
Yes.
Yes, it did. And I knew Buddy Hackett, and I would rather have actual Buddy Hackett than Nathaniel Hackett. Big George says, all right, Jeffrey, steer the ship and I will follow my captain, oh my captain. Oh, all right. Eddie's buddy. Random texture says, whose seat is hotter, Reich or Hackett?
Yes.
Hackett. It's got to be Hackett. Reich got a win, so he bought a moment. Even Jim Irsay came out and said, and this is a delusional sumbitch right here, there's no such thing as an ugly win. Was your mushroom-infused eyes not watching the same piece of garbage game I saw? Just because you got the W, you're going to be like, looks good to me.
Your only 2 wins are ugly wins. What are you talking about?
He might just be relieved. He's like, all right, I can wait another week to fire this.
Yeah.
Angel. You know?
I don't think he really wants to, but, his hand will be forced.
Oh, no, it's coming. It's coming for sure. Kyle G says, most important thing to come out of this warrior on warrior crime is the chance to chant triple single when they come to town.
I don't get it.
Oh, Draymond Green. You want to get the triple double. You want to get the stat sheet filled up. But Draymond Green is at his advanced age is not getting triple doubles anymore. It's like 9 points and 9 rebounds and like 7
I got you.
Right. Yeah.
Triple single.
Turns out that is funny, Kyle-G. Last Optimist says touchdowns are equivalent to soccer goals. Last night's game was equivalent of a 0-0 soccer tie. You are incorrect, Last Optimist. Field goals are equivalent to soccer goals. Touchdowns, well, that's American. So, you get it right, buddy. Bruno Baller says, well, at least everyone that took the under on last night's game's pretty happy to say.
And they're the only people.
Yeah, that's it, man. Somebody was like, first touchdown. No.
Oh, somebody actually had a first touchdown, Naeem Hines. And he was concussed on the very first play, and no touchdowns were scored. So they got 0 in their payout.
Last night hurt a lot of people's feelings. And Bruno Baller also says, in some cases, Randy, he'd throw hands with him, and then we'd have a beer together. Yeah. That's what Randy was saying. The same thing. And even when we were kids, you'd throw hands, then you'd go have a soda or something. Yeah. Or in our case, a beer. Boogie says, I don't care what you call it, Keon. I call it punching on Twitter. And was there a football game last night? I turned on Amazon Prime, but I only found a nut slapping contest. I found it odd that it aired that thing on Amazon Prime.
A nut slapping contest. All right.
Against the spread says Poole is definitely 0-1 in his all-time fights. He had no experience in mutual combat before the other day. You learned some hard lessons in practice, fellas. Yeah. You learn some lessons. If somebody gets in your face, it's on you. If you push someone, you better follow with a strike or a takedown. Yeah. And Draymond, well, he totally telegraphed his overhand right.
Yeah.
Poole needs a rematch with proper training.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I can be honest with you. I am surprised that he punched him. I am surprised. It must have been something he said that was out of line. Because, I get it. You go over, you say something, somebody pushes you, you push them, and you're like, you say that again, and you're going to be. Draymond just
call
went right
me
to
elf just one more time.
You at least get that warning from an elf.
It just reminds me of the Myles Garrett, Mason Rudolph thing. I don't know what Mason Rudolph said, so I can't really prove that he deserved it. But man, this dude came at you with the helmet. You said something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the same thing with Jordan Poole. Like I can't prove you said anything, but man, he came at you with intent. You said something.
May not have said the N-word, but whatever it said, helmet worthy? Probably. I don't know. I don't know what he said. And I wasn't that mad that Mason Rudolph got hit in the head with the helmet.
I happen to like Jordan Poole a little bit more, which is the only reason why I'm like, I'll kind of walk in the line a whole lot more.
Well, you could see that kid can get kind of cocky. That I think that is a lot of what it is. And some of the leaked information was he was getting a little bit too big for his britches. He had a big contract coming up, and maybe he was talking like a big kid when he wasn't a big kid just yet in that locker room. So listen. Facts will eventually come out. I'm sure we'll have a good laugh about it. Against the spreads, thank you for that. Scratch Me Because says, hey, at least next Thursday night's game is going to be better. Oh,
no, it's not. No, I looked at the schedule.
Never mind.
I had that same thought last night. I was like, who's playing? Oh, no. The Bears.
Ooh.
And I'm sorry in advance. I already apologize.
I'm taking the Commandos in that game.
I apologize
You know what
from
I'm
the
taking?
beginning.
I'm taking the night off. I'm done. I'm just going to go away for a few days. I'm not even kidding.
My first thought last night was like, well, good thing I didn't bother to razz Jeffrey on Twitter because my turn's coming next week.
That was wise of you. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, okay, fine. We will talk about last night's game briefly. I don't want to spend too much time on this turd. All right, we got all kinds of other stuff to talk about. I have the injury report for the NFL, getting you ready for your fantasy football and for maybe making adjustments on your picks. Keon's got his college football dance party and other assorted things. So come on back, kids. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Hi, Jada Cantor, Desert Wholesale Diamond, and my dad, Diamond Dave. Lots of people sell diamonds in Scottsdale, but no one like my dad. He really imports diamonds directly from overseas. A few people say this. He really does this. Then he wholesales them direct to you. He designs and manufactures custom rings for wholesale in his own facility, providing top quality service for the lowest price. He does this in our professional offices, giving you one-on-one attention while saving you the rent and overhead of a high-end or big box chain. He saves so much, and he'll do the same for you. Don't pay retail. Work with the 4th generation GIA graduate, diamond importer, and get her the diamond she wants at a price you want.
Call 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor. Or online at www.diamonddaveaz.com. That's www.diamonddaveaz.com. Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? The United States Mint has issued the Morgan Silver Dollar for the first time in 100 years. Not only that, but they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 175,000 legal tender silver dollars were issued. These Morgan Silver Dollars are brand new, bright and shiny legal tender coins minted by the iconic Philadelphia Mint. Just call 1-800-895-7664 and you are guaranteed a new 99.9% pure silver Morgan dollar. The first time in history this has happened. But with limited quantities, you must call now to order. To learn more, call 1-800-895-7664. If you order now, you will receive a free collector bonus, a $25 value free with every order. Call 1-800-895-7664 now to secure your new Morgan Silver Dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-895-7664.
Sunday night is football night in America. The Bengals fresh off their win and with some extra rest. Head to Baltimore to take on a Ravens team that the Bengals know how to beat. Don't count the Ravens out. Lamar Jackson is on a mission to prove what he's got, and the Ravens defense was embarrassed last week. It's an AFC North showdown. It's Sunday night football on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic, Arizona's home for primetime football. Gotta love it, baby.
Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. And yeah, I guess we have to talk about that craptacular display of NFL football. Booger Wolf says, after yesterday, I'd rather have Dookie Lips than watch the next Thursday night game. Yuck fest. I don't know what Dookie Lips are, but I don't know. Maybe that is self-explanatory. That sounds wrong. All right. So the damn game happened. And I watched the thing. I was expecting a beatdown. I was expecting the Broncos to, sort of have their way with the Colts. And I thought it's not going to be that easy because this defense ain't horrible. But Matt Ryan showed up as advertised. Matt Ryan, Captain Fumbler, can't do much with anything. And it was a shame to see Nyheim Hines go out with a concussion as fast as he did because it almost looked like, well, we might get something done with this running game. And then it just was horrible on both sides of the ball. It was like watching a mirror image of suckage. The Colts suckage was a mirror image of the Broncos suckage. And the most Matt Ryan, he's done, right? Yeah, he's done. But Russell Wilson, you paid how much for Russell Wilson? And he's not playing any better than old man Ryan. And I'm just, what the hell is going on here? So I'm watching this, and it's a field goal. So I kept thinking at any moment, Russell Wilson is going to cook. I thought at any minute, Jerry Jeudy's going to bust free at any minute, and nothing happened. And it was bad. Al Michaels and Herpes Street joking about how bad it was in the second quarter. Normally, you don't even make comment about how bad a game is that you're trying to broadcast. Maybe towards the end, like, glad that's over. I hear you, Bob. Second quarter, they're like, oh my God.
We can't even pretend.
That was such a bad game. And I was like, please, I was rooting for the Broncos to win so it wouldn't go to overtime because I feared another tie. I feared another tie for the Colts. It'd only be one for the Broncos. Oh, they'd be two, whatever. What are they? Were they 2-2-1?
Yeah, they would have
the
been. Yeah.
Yeah. Now they're 2-3. The Colts are now 2-2-1. Okay. So I just was like, oh God, no. And then they couldn't make it a touchdown. They could only make it a field goal. And I thought, okay, well now here comes Russell Wilson. He's going to win this game right here. They're going to get a touchdown, and that field goal didn't matter. And that's the end of that. What did I just watch? The stuff I tweeted is what I'm going to tell you right now. The worst game I think I've ever seen on TV. It might have been the worst game I've ever seen on TV. Now, they tried to play it off like, well, this is a very good defensive game.
Even on the CBS Sports when I went, they called it a defensive battle in the headline. No, it wasn't.
You know how I know? Nobody on defense was sweaty. It was not even. It was just horrible. That was a horrible game, and I don't feel good about having watched it. The quarterbacks were bad. The O-lines were bad. Everything was bad except for that one guy in the end, old Gill. Oh, that's right. Old Stephon Gilmore stepped up for the Colts, and that was it. And okay.
So
that was bad.
What is wrong with? Let's start with the Broncos. What's wrong with Russell Wilson?
Nathaniel Hackett.
Well, it could be, but
partially.
I'm talking about on a couple of plays, especially in the red zone. He had wide receivers wide open, and he didn't even see him. And he's telegraphing where he's throwing the football. He's staring down the guy.
Un-Russell Wilson-like, right? Un-Russell Wilson-like, you would say. Maybe he did have a concussion earlier, or maybe he cashed that check and he doesn't even care anymore. Maybe now he's just sort of going through the motions.
That doesn't seem like Russell Wilson at all. And I think he knows the heat.
You saw the game, man. You saw the other Broncos games where he has not done that much better.
He hasn't done better, but I don't think it's because he doesn't care. I can't explain what it is. I don't know why he looks this bad. I don't know why the hell KJ Hamler would have walked in a touchdown had Russell Wilson even bothered to look his direction.
Okay, now understand, I don't know that I'm going to get, you expect Russell Wilson to kind of look through his progressions quickly, and he would have seen him there, but he was laser-like focused on one person. And there may have been a very good reason for that. So I'm not going to second guess him under center, except for how bad he looked the rest of the night and how good he has been in the past in a very similar situation, minus the one where he threw the interception to Malcolm Brown.
But that's what I find confusing, because to get locked in on one receiver, that is a thing that rookies do. I would expect that out of Trey Lance. I would not expect that out of 10-year NFL veteran Russell Wilson.
Well, maybe he did have a concussion. Maybe he got his bell rung a little bit and was able to pull it off with all those people. I love how the Amazon showed that crowd of employees around a screen going, "Oh, I don't know, he doesn't have a concussion. No, he's fine." Oh, you know, that concerned group of people. You know, I'm not so sure he didn't get his bell rung, man.
Maybe not, which it doesn't explain the other games. I think that Russell Wilson right now is learning something that maybe we're all learning right now, which is just because you can take Peyton Manning, all-time great, drop him on one team and put him on another and he wins the Super Bowl, and you can take Tom Brady, all-time great, and take him from one team and drop him on another team and he wins the Super Bowl. Maybe those two guys are the exception. Like maybe
I don't
this
think
is
so.
not.
I think if you have a good team, just add quarterback, you can have success like we have seen. The thing with Russell Wilson is he's not the same as he had been before. Those guys just continued on in the next team.
You're right.
Russell Wilson, something got broke.
Something is broken because the pocket awareness that used to be a specialty of his, you used to see a defensive end coming around the corner and you know he's not going to get Russ because Russ feels the pressure. Russ got sacked 4 times last night and didn't see a single one coming.
Maybe, and again, we're all just speculating. Maybe he's got eyesight issues. Maybe he's had previous concussions, which have blurred his vision or something. I don't know. But you know, if you poo-poo one idea, you better have another good one to come up behind it. And right now, I don't know. This takes a Seattle Seahawks fan. It doesn't take a Bronco fan. A Seattle Seahawks fan has to look at this and say, wow, this is what it looks like. This is what it seems like. This is what it feels like. Somebody who's watched Russell Wilson enough intently to be able to look at him going, okay, it's something like this. And I'm talking coaches. I'm talking people who know the hell they're talking about, because he had not been great the last couple of years though either. That's another. Maybe he declined. We gave him excuses because, well, the Seattle Seahawks, they're not putting people around him. They're not,
and
very
they weren't good. That's true.
But he might have declined at that time or before it. We just didn't notice because we thought, it's just because they don't have good people.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive line was bad. The running game wasn't necessarily there. The defense was inconsistent. And if he was declining in all of that is noise that's going to stop you from correctly seeing maybe some decline going on. Maybe that was happening. Yeah. And it makes the most sense to me because I don't know what else to say to make heads or tails of how a guy I know to be a good quarterback, because I've seen the stuff that Russell Wilson has done in this league. Yeah.
I was jealous. I was like, damn, why can't the Colts get him?
For sure. You know, like my team went and got Carson Wentz. You think I wouldn't have rather had Russell Wilson this offseason? But I just think that when you actually see what the guy's putting out on the field, you have to start asking questions of how long has this been happening?
Now, maybe it's a combo deal of Russell Wilson decline and Nathaniel Hackett again with a play call.
Yeah.
Regardless of what Russell is and is not doing, his decisions it's almost like somebody put a child in there. It doesn't make sense. A lot of what he called in that game, and some of it was almost like, okay, if you're going to react and say, well, I'm going to leave him in because last time you all got mad at me for putting the kicker in instead of letting Russell play, that's childish. Because
of course
different scenarios. In this scenario, kick the damn ball. In that scenario, put it in the hands of your bazillion-dollar quarterback because that's what you paid him for. Different scenarios, Hackett. I can't believe he did not get fired today. Somebody check the news. Did he get fired? Since we've been on the air and I just don't know it. I'm actually going to click on the button to see if that happened because I am stunned that he has a job right now.
No, he still has a job, and even he says as recently as 4 hours ago, the Denver Post reporting that Broncos Nathaniel Hackett stands by decision to throw the preceded game-turning the decision to throw that preceded game-turning interception versus the Colts. So
Nathaniel Hackett's a dope.
Yeah, and you know what?
Have never been hired,
and he should have known that he was a dope. You were collecting a paycheck from the Green Bay Packers, and all you have to do is hang around in a room with Aaron Rodgers. That's it. Just collect a paycheck. Now we get to see that you don't know what the hell you're doing. I wouldn't hire him to be an offensive coordinator after this at all.
But it was a group effort last night to almost make us think about watching soccer rather than football. It was a group effort where the teams had no touchdowns, combined 7 field goals, blocked field goal, only 681 yards of offense, period, 15 penalties, 12 punts, 6 fumbles, 4 interceptions, 10 sacks, and both teams were completely 0 for everything in the end zone. in the red zone when they get it. It just was horrible. Man, did anybody have either of these kickers in fantasy football? Because if so, you tell me how many points you got, because I've never seen anything like this.
The last time I saw anything like this, I mean, Sebastian Janikowski was kicking with the Raiders. This is new to me. I haven't seen this in a very long time.
So now you have to look at what it cost to have a game that bad and get a win for Jim Irsay. Nyheim Hines, yes, it's a confirmed concussion, so now he's in the protocol. Probably won't see him in a little bit, but luckily both these teams have some extra days to get ready for that for the next Sunday. Garrett Bowles broke his damn leg. He's out for the year. Ronald Trent Darby, he's going to be out for a year with a torn ACL. So for the Denver Broncos to lose, it cost too damn much. And so now you're sitting there thinking, okay, we paid a lot for Russell Wilson. What's wrong with him? By the way, who's the backup quarterback in Denver? Who is that backup quarterback? Do you know?
Gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, got to look that up. KJ Hamler looked like he was about to punch a few people after that last night, and he was complaining he could have walked in. Again, yeah, I don't want to second guess a quarterback doing his reads, because sometimes you're looking one way, somebody gets open, and you're not going to see it. You can't see it.
But he was open from the beginning of the play.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's killing me is that if you knew what defensive look you were looking at,
I know, man.
You should have known exactly where to go.
I'm trying to be a little nice about this.
I know. I just, that is one of the worst non-throws I've ever seen.
You want to hear the worst statements? Okay, help me out with which one is the most delusional statement. Was it Matt Ryan saying, belief gets creative when you find a way to get a job done?
Okay, Matt. All right.
Dude, you probably should just not talk at all right now. And Jim Irsay, there's no such thing as an ugly win. Who is more delusional, Matt Ryan or Jim Irsay now?
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
You're right.
Because Jim owns the team.
And at least he has a W.
Yeah, Jim can fire everybody. Matt better say the right things, because his job is not safe in any stretch of the word. I don't know what in the world he's thinking with that. Belief gets created when you find a way to win. What you should say every time someone asks you a question, if you're Matt Ryan, is, we've got a lot of stuff to clean up. I'm glad we won. That's it. I don't want to hear anything else.
As a Colts fan, I'd settle for, I'm sorry. That's just stop right there, buddy. Just stop right there. Boomer Sooner says, I started not liking Russ Wilson when he threw the interception at the goal line there in the Super Bowl. Should have had a Marshawn run twice, but that wasn't Russ Wilson's fault. That was Pete Carroll. Yeah. Baker's Cocky Hen says, isn't Hamler actually the backup? That'd be amazing if he was.
KJ Hamler?
That's what he's saying. You know how Saquon Barkley is in the line of succession there?
Though he was third, and they just got both quarterbacks injured. It's actually Brett Rippon.
That's right. I saw that.
The son of Mark Rippon.
Yeah. A lot of DNA from the mom, I think. Baker's Cocky Hen says, so the AFC best is going to have 3 teams with losing records after this weekend. Well, we shall see, my friend.
I think it's safe to say not the AFC best right now, but yeah.
Right. Random Texture says, I don't think Russell Wilson is comfortable in Hackett's offense. Hackett is making Russell Wilson a pocket passer like he coached Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Wilson's an RPO quarterback, not to mention everything in that franchise is new. There's a lot of moving parts. It's not clicking. But here's the thing, though. Russell Wilson can be what he is supposed to be. He doesn't have to stay in a pocket. He should, and we've seen him a million times, break out of that pocket and make magic happen.
And he's done it this year.
That's where the disconnect is, Random Texter. Not whether what you think he's afraid Hackett's going to be mad at him. I doubt it. I mean, when you're about to get killed by offensive linemen, you get creative quick.
Like I said, Russ Wilson, 10 years in the league, you knew what he was capable of when you got him.
Booger Wolf says, I'd rather be named Ryan Patterson and be a complete loser like that piece of crap than watch the game next Thursday.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend watching the game next Thursday either.
I'm not watching.
I don't know that I don't get the Ryan Patterson reference, but you don't have to.
I don't care. Kyle G says, much like how Alex Smith was the ultimate game manager, I think Russ is the ultimate system quarterback. Now he's out of Seattle's system. He's a mess. And Matt Ryan is so haunted by 28-3. His hands don't work anymore.
But Seattle changed offensive coordinators before. There's the what
Bruno
system?
Baller. says this could be one of those NFL seasons where you just want to make the postseason. And if you're hot, no matter what your record, well, you can go deep. Yeah, it's feeling baseball-ish, ain't it, Randy? It's not about, get hot at the right time. It's not about the record. It's about when you get how you do in your division.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Joe the Show says, Jeffrey, I thought you were wrong about firing Frank Reich, but man, at this point, him and Hackett got to go. That's what I've been saying, man. Boogie says, did Jeff Bezos tick Roger Goodell off? It just feels like NFL is handing Amazon Prime bags of dog poo on purpose. Sure, they started with the Chargers versus the Chiefs in week 2, but has it gone downhill?
Well, hold on. No one would have suspected that this would have been a bad game before the season started.
But Boogie has a point. Maybe Roger Goodell keeps getting his Amazon packages stolen. That's a good point.
He blames Jeff Bezos personally.
Against the Spread says, if you think last night was ugly, you haven't seen nothing yet. Bears play Commandos next Thursday. It's going to look worse than Roseanne Barr singing the national anthem. Might go to overtime to extend the suffering of America. I'd rather punch myself in the face in the backyard than watch that game. It'd be quicker and less painful.
Man, it's my team. I would rather you punch me in the face. Well, here we are.
Arrange it, I guess.
But that's not going to fix it. I said I would rather. It's not a
Draymond Green on line 1 for you.
Draymond, help me out, man.
No, he don't even have to ask. He'll be there.
Well, what did Jordan say? I'll just say that.
That's a good. I want to know. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-813-8757 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-813-8757. That's 800-813-8757. What do you have to lose? Call 800-813-8757. Again, 800-813-8757.
As a kids, we all loved hopping on our bikes and hitting the road.
I'll be back for dinner. See ya.
Well, bikes just got reinvented for us big kids. If you haven't tried an electric bike, you have no idea what you're missing. Hit the road, the trails, or the beach by pedaling or not pedaling.
It's like being a kid all over again. Why not start with the best? Hemingway e-bikes are the best fat tire electric bikes sold online. Since 2017, Hemingway is known for durability, price, safety, and fun. Hemingway is the long-range e-bike experts, taking you faster and farther on a single charge. Hemingway sells direct to the consumer and ships right to your home and has over 2,000 five-star reviews. Choose from 7 models, all with an unprecedented 2-year warranty. Find out why over 50,000 customers call Hemingway the best e-bike there is. Go to HemingwayEbike.com. That's HMIIWAY ebike.com. Use promo code FANATIC and save $100. Go to HemingwayEbike.com.
The NASCAR season will come to an end in Phoenix, but the championship weekend will last forever.
The greatest are the ones that seize the moment.
4 championship races in 3 days, all set against the stunning backdrop of the desert mountains. Night racing, a doubleheader, and a Cup Series champion crowned on Sunday. It's a weekend you'll wish would never end. The NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 4th through the 6th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Kelly here with AC by J. As an Arizona native, I love monsoon season, but as the owner of a heating, cooling, and plumbing company, AC by J, I know your air conditioner doesn't share my enthusiasm. Monsoon dust, humidity, and power surges can cause havoc to your AC system. Protect your home with our monsoon maintenance. Just $109, $40 off our regular price with a condensation line flush to prevent water damage to your home. Call AC by J at 602-609-7664 or go to acbyj.com. Service you can trust from our family to yours.
So, what's your favorite thing about sports? The excitement, the action, or the 5-meat pizza and the 6-pack?
Bingo.
That's what we thought. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. I am in such a hurry to wrap up this conversation about last night's horrific game. Holy God. Did anything good come out of it? I looked down the fantasy football rosters here, at least in the Premier League, and somebody got 12 points off of one player. It didn't seem like I think Rosalie Michaels got the most out of a player last night because she had the Broncos defense. 16 points for the Broncos defense, and they lost. Nobody had the Colts defense, I guess, but yeah, it was dismal and best forgotten as soon as possible. Booger Wolf says, I kind of want to punch Draymond Green right in the burrito chomper. Really? I like Draymond Green, but I might say that. But if he was getting on my nerves, I might be right on your side there, Booger Wolf. Licky Lips Johnson says Russell Wilson is the Russell Westbrook of the NFL. Yeah, I had that meme posted up today, and it's hard not to see.
And you know what's crazy is how much the Seahawks gave up. How much the Broncos gave up to the Seahawks to get Russell Wilson. No.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. I mean, it's Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, Noah Fant, which we know about. But then they got the 2022 first round pick, second round pick, fifth round pick, 2023 first round pick, 2023 second round pick. And what the Broncos got was Russ Wilson and a fourth round pick next year.
Correct me if I'm wrong. And, don't be a jerk about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. When the Broncos got Peyton Manning, they didn't win the Super Bowl that year. They won it the next year, right? And then he retired. Or was it a couple of years?
I think it was a couple of years. I don't think they won it. They won it the first year, but they went to it the next year, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Then they went and kind of dragged him to it and won that one.
All right. So my point is, was he playing amazing the first year that he joined the Broncos? Because he had that neck surgery and all that stuff.
I believe he did.
My point is, maybe Russell Wilson just needs a little time.
I think that's still true. I refuse to give up on the guy,
real head coach,
after 5 games. But yeah, the head coach thing has to change, because any mistake that Russell Wilson makes is exaggerated by the fact that Nathaniel Hackett's like the worst coach in the league right now. But Peyton Manning, that Broncos team went 13-3. He threw for 4,700 yards, 37 touchdowns. Yeah.
Peyton was with the Broncos from 2012 to 2015, won 2 Super Bowls.
Okay, so here's
he won 1. He went to 2.
Yeah.
He Broncos 2012 to 2015, winning 2 Super Bowls.
No, he won a Super Bowl for the Colts and a Super Bowl for the Broncos. But I don't really read that.
Okay,
they've got it wrong.
All right.
But here's the thing. Okay, so then I guess my idea that Russell Wilson just needs some time. Broncos, you only get one Peyton Manning in a lifetime. You were not going to redo that. Well, I hope you've learned your lesson. That's it. I don't want to talk about that damn game anymore. Ugh. Moo says, sorry, didn't research the game much, but can Indy be that bad when they beat the Chiefs? I told you guys, the Chiefs lost that game. The Colts did not win it. The defense had something to do with that, but there's no offense on the Colts. If the Colts are going to beat you, you're going to end up having to beat yourself quite a bit first. Blissful Hay says there's 245 million reasons why Russ Wilson does not care how he plays. After he got paid, he has zero incentive to win. Same thing with the midget.
See, here's the thing. That guy, I'm not going to speak for Kyler, but Russell Wilson is deeply concerned about how he looks, his optics, and his legacy. I think he does care. I think he cares a lot.
Yeah, and the other part is if he doesn't care how he plays, he would not be getting sacked. He would be very protective of his own hide. So, you know what I mean? He'd be spiking the ball all the time. He would, he'd be always watching for, okay, where is this going to come from?
He'd just fall over the moment he felt any pressure, whether or not there was anybody there. I think, too, with Russell Wilson, I can see him trying to be Russell Wilson. He's attempting to do the things we've known him to do. He's just not doing them well.
Big George says, I usually am not one to ask for a coach to be fired.
Oh, no, not Big George.
Big George says that.
Oh, that's a lie to Big George.
Big George, the pillar of rationality when it comes to coaches and their jobs.
He says, but Nathaniel Hackett deserves to be fired today. Oh, we all agree. We all agree.
Nathaniel Hackett should have been fired yesterday.
He says Broncos should just hire back Vance Joseph, right, Randy?
Exactly right. You're 110% right.
Two birds, one stone, man.
Boomer Sooner says, check out of play some balls.
I think he's talking about the Super Bowl interception with Russell Wilson. Hey, you check out of the play.
Some balls, huh?
And I guess have some balls. Check out of the play. I'm guessing that's something about the gist of what it is. Boomer Sooner, let me know if I'm wrong.
Yeah, but you gotta let it go, man.
But also, the head coach in the Super Bowl calls a play, and he's, Pete Carroll. There's some cachet there.
Yeah.
You listen to him.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, I thought Hamler was a starter for that one game last year. No, that was some running back that did that.
It was another receiver, but it wasn't him.
Oh, I thought it was running back. You sure it wasn't a running back?
It could have been a running back. I thought it was receiver, though, but let me.
Licky Lips Johnson says, Carney Wilson or Midget Murray? Well, Midget Murray is a better quarterback than Russ Wilson right now. I got to at least give you that. Don't you think, Randy? At this moment?
I mean, I'd say right now, this week, yes. And I would say that, I think the thought that what's his face, Kyler Murray got paid $238 million, doesn't care. If you watch the game, I don't think that's true, because what I've seen out of him a couple of games now has been some real passion, and I think that he does care. I think he wants the team to win.
The coach.
I might get more passionate if I got a raise.
You mean like this kind of that kind of raise? What do you mean?
No, Randy, it's not every
kind of raise you talking about.
It's more like the cash register rate. That's all.
Oh, right.
So Tom Brady. Let's do an injury report real fast, because I know in the next hour we're going to have Keon Rose's college football dance party. So give you some update on who's injured, who's not. Tom Brady has come off the injury report. Julio Jones and Rashad Perryman, though, they are still listed as questionable. So keep that in mind on your fantasy football. Also, Cameron Brate is out. Logan Ryan is out. Akeem Hicks is out. Boy, man, I got to take a second look at who the Buccaneers are playing on the picks. Minkah Fitzpatrick is now off the injury report, and he will be playing against the Bills. Not good news for Josh Allen right there. T. Higgins has been listed as questionable for this weekend against the Ravens. Let's see here. Daniel Jones will start for the Giants in the London game. It won't matter. It's not going to make a difference.
Well, it's going to make some difference, because the difference between Daniel Jones and Saquon again, I guess, is something.
Yeah, it's not going to matter. David Montgomery is questionable, so he is practiced for the second straight day. So if you've been waiting around for David Montgomery, this may be your week. So keep an eye on that. Andy Dalton is going to have the start for the Saints, except for one thing. Michael Thomas is out. He will not be playing this weekend. So may God have mercy on their souls. And that's pretty much what I've got right there as an update.
By the way, that was a receiver. It was Kendall Hinton filling.
Kendall Hinton.
Yeah. I could have sworn it was a running back. Booger Wolf says, Randy, pour me a bud, you dirty foot heathen.
My feet are clean.
Sometimes I find my feet. If I don't wear my flip flops, sometimes my feet get a little dirty.
I could see that.
Yeah. If I get a little barefoot. Mm-hmm. Bala 51 says, I got the pleasure of watching last night's donkey fire at the Denver airport on a 3-hour layover at a bar full of fans that were yelling obscenities after every play. Yeah. It was awesome.
It was pretty fun. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings last night, and there was a Broncos fan and a Colts fan next to us.
Oh, no.
And it was every one of the two of them was shouting something. And on one play, they were both shouting at the same time because it was unclear who screwed up.
That sounds fun, but here's the thing. Bala 51 finishes by saying, pretty awesome from a Raiders fan perspective. Yeah, he's living a good life right there. He is. So did you hear what Joe Burrow said? This is it's concerning, but it's not. I don't know what to make of this. Joe Burrow has admitted that he has had in-game memory loss from head trauma. meaning he has forgotten parts of games or entire games as part of, and he says that's just part of the game, part of what you sign up for. You're going to have head injuries. You're going to tear an ACL. You're going to break your arm. That's the game we play. That is the life we live, and we get paid handsomely for it. So he's basically saying, this is what happens. This is how it goes.
Tom Brady said something similar like 6 or 7 years ago.
But pause and go back to where he says he has admitted that on multiple occasions he has forgotten the second half of a game or the entire game because of the concussions that he's already at the young age of what he is has gotten.
It's a dangerous game.
Listen, you accept the risk. Absolutely. But technology and the NFL and the people who are trying to be watching out got to get better at it.
Yeah. That's why you can't have the screw ups like what happened with Tua, because if this is happening to somebody like Joe Burrow, who we know is getting beaten up, then when someone's obviously concussed, you got to do something.
So, yeah, I'm all about the manliness of it. Hey, let's play hurt, but we got to do the best we can to lessen that a bit so we can keep playing longer. All right, one more hour of the Daily Blender after this on 1580 The Fanatic.
As a kids, we all loved hopping on our bikes and hitting the road.
I'll be back for dinner. See ya.
Well, bikes just got reinvented for us big kids. If you haven't tried an electric bike, you have no idea what you're missing. Hit the road, the trails, or the beach by pedaling or not pedaling.
It's like being a kid all over again.
Why not start with the best? Hemingway e-bikes are the best fat tire electric bikes sold online. Since 2017, Hemingway is known for durability, price, safety, and fun. Hemingway is the long-range e-bike experts, taking you faster and farther in a single charge. Hemingway sells direct to the consumer and ships right to your home and has over 2,000 five-star reviews. Choose from 7 models, all with an unprecedented 2-year warranty. Find out why over 50,000 customers call Hemingway the best e-bike there is. Go to HemingwayEbike.com. That's HMIIWAY ebike.com. Use promo code FANATIC and save $100. Go to HemingwayEbike.com.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
There's no doubt that Harman Solar can save you up to 85% on your monthly electric bill. That's a fact. Bruce Jacobs here. But did you know it's possible to get solar for $0 down and no payments for 12 months? You can lease, finance, or even purchase outright. They have plans that fit everybody. Harman Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harman Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Now, I am observing that there's a preseason Coyotes game against Vancouver tonight. Is that correct? It looks to be correct. I think that's what that is. Let me click on this button, make sure. Yeah, I got it right. The Canucks. All right. So, and then I see that it reminded me about ASU playing on Saturday night against Washington, 21 ranked Washington. We didn't give away any tickets. How come we didn't get any tickets to give away on the show? Usually we have tickets. Was somebody just, oh my God, I got to go see Washington so bad that we didn't get any tickets to give away? Did anybody else give tickets away? Did other shows give tickets away?
I don't recall hearing that.
I'd like to know who the hell's hogging up all these tickets.
It's a great question.
Usually we have tickets. That's all I'm saying. So weird. Anyway, so yes, congratulations to the Seattle Mariners. They've won their first game against the horrible Canadian Blue Jay bastards, and they just need one more, and then that'll be the end of that. Who's up next? Is there more baseball tonight? I can't seem to bring up my schedule.
San Diego plays tonight against the Mets.
All right. So I am hoping for the Mets to win just to drag out the agony for Bruce Jacobs a little longer. Just going to be fun. But if they lose, that's fine too. I really don't mind. I have nothing against the Mets. Zero against the Mets. So my whole thing is just for the enjoyment of seeing people sweat and contort and get constipated, that kind of thing.
5:07 San Diego at the Mets. Tomorrow it's Tampa at Cleveland, Philadelphia, St. Louis, and the late game Seattle at Toronto. And then you go on from there.
All right. Kane Kitten says, ASU plays tomorrow afternoon in the hot sun. By 7 o'clock, it's not that bad. It's going to be pretty cool tomorrow, so it shouldn't be too bad. Good Cat says, why did I watch? Oh, he's just joining us. Yeah, we're not talking about it anymore. He says, Matt Ryan's terrible. Makes me miss Jacoby Brissett. Hashtag put in Nick Foles. That's a good point. Nick Foles was sitting right there. Oh, I don't know why that didn't happen. It was horrible. Yes, we're not talking about anymore, Good Cat. We're just not gonna. Can't do it. Ain't gonna do it. One thing I am going to talk about is something that is sad. A very sad thing, Randy. And I know you have been discouraged when this has happened here. I'm sure anybody is discouraged. I've never seen it happen at Lucas Oil Field, but here's Sean McVay was saying, we might need to use a silent count. We're at home, but there's a lot of Cowboy fans in LA. That is sad.
Is it though?
It is.
Do you think I feel bad for the sheep herd and Sean
No,
McVay?
but I'm not talking about whether you should feel bad for them or not. I'm saying we've seen this happen at a lot of different stadiums where you have at least half, if not an overwhelming amount of opposite team fans.
Yeah, well, you've got these season ticket holders, 1%ers, I like to call them. And they just sell their tickets to the opponents, or it doesn't matter. They have no loyalty to the home team whatsoever.
And of course, if you think a football game is expensive to go to for a family in Arizona, LA, the diehard Rams fans probably can't afford to go.
Well, I like super duper charging the opposing fans. You know what I mean? Oh, just soak them for all they're worth. If you can't find somebody else to take the tickets that is a fan, but I don't know. Here's the thing. When a team is good, you don't have to worry about protect the nest. You don't have to worry about people selling too many tickets to the opposing team, because then when the team is good, they're like, oh, no, hell no, I'm using these tickets. I'm going to go to this game. And, so Sean McVay, there is a cure for your ills. Your team's got to start playing better. Your team has not looked that good lately.
They haven't, but we're like 4 weeks into the season and they're fresh off the Super Bowl. If it were me and my team,
turn fast, man.
I might be fast, but if you're a quarter of a way into a season and your fans are already throwing up the hands like, oh yeah, let's just let Dallas have our stadium. That's your fans. That's not you as a team, because teams do have Super Bowl hangovers. Those happen.
Sadder last night was watching while the Broncos had the ball, people were leaving the stadium.
Oh yeah.
When the Broncos had the ball and a chance to score, they were leaving before and during overtime.
Oh yeah.
That was even worse.
I don't think I've seen that in an NFL game. I've seen it in plenty of basketball games. I don't think I've ever seen that in an NFL game. And, earlier in the year, of course, the crowd was counting down to help the offense. I haven't seen that. Like this Broncos team is in unprecedented territory with how bad they are.
Well, the whole thing about the game clock, them counting down was fun because they didn't realize how bad things were yet. So they're like, oh, we'll help out. 3, 2, 1, yay, high five. And then, after last night, they're just like, it's no fun anymore. It's no longer fun.
It's like, you can't count it. We're not helping you.
Oh my God. So bad. Do you guys think they should do anything that prevents people from reselling tickets to like the opposing fans? Or do you think, well, whatever. Let the team dictate that. As far as you're a good team, you'll have more of your own jerseys in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a bad team, people are going to show up to watch their favorite team when they beat your team.
Yeah, and if you're in LA, you understand that the margin for error is a little bit different. If you start off slow, people are like, "Hey, what if I saved my money and went to go watch USC, UCLA? They're playing well right now. What if I saved my money and went to go watch the Dodgers?"
So Sean McVay is asking, please don't sell your tickets. Please don't sell your tickets. Let's keep this a Rams home game, not a Cowboys home game. I understand the sentiment. I understand that. I don't know if I'd want them to do anything to keep you from selling your tickets to somebody else. I don't know if I'd want that.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
Win the fans over.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's always discouraging though if you turn on the TV and you see tons of different fans in your seats and you're like, what the hell, this is our game.
Yeah,
you never see that in Indianapolis. You know why? Nobody wants to go to Indianapolis.
You got some Cowboys fans who are thinking about maybe going and then realized, you know what,
no, it's in Indianapolis.
Indianapolis, no thanks.
No, dear God, no. 888-368-1580. Baker's Cocky Hen says that ASU game is at 1 p.m. According to the ESPN. I don't know what ESPN you're looking at, but they are incorrect. No, it's at 1 p.m. You're right. Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. I thought that I was looking at a 7 over here. Oh my God. Why is ASU playing a football game in the sun at 1 p.m.? Even at, what'd you say it was going to be tomorrow? 89 degrees or something like that?
Yeah, 89.
Still.
89 is still pretty hot. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That means inside the stadium, it's going to be about 350.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe it was like an insurance reason we couldn't give away those tickets because we can't afford to kill off listeners.
Could be.
At least they're not wearing the black Sun Devil uniforms, because that would just be ridiculous.
Oh my God. Oh, it's if it's bad for ASU, it's going to be worse for Washington. So maybe that's what they're thinking. Give us some sort of an edge. But that's a mistake. That is such a mistake. Bruno Baller says, I had to step away for a bit, but did I miss Keon's college football dance party? Nope. We're going to do that here after the next break. I promise you. That is coming soon. Against the Spread says, that concussion situation is real. You can't blame guys for trying to play through, trying to make their money. I believe the NFL should pay in full for player contracts on concussion cases. Football is a collision sport. I could only imagine the impact now, but we don't want people living like Jim McMahon or that Falcons quarterback Chandler. He used to get lost going to practice, and then when he'd go home, he'd loop around I-285 in Atlanta for like hours. Yeah, the concussion thing is real. Okay, can I make a suggestion? I got pooed down on this before. Let me try it again. What if we just made the quarterbacks wear the goofy helmet? Could that work?
It could, yeah. I think if the technology is there, and at least if it's the quarterback, if the little, whatever guardian helmet covering pops off, then it's just the quarterback putting it back on as opposed to every player, every play.
Right. And you're not supposed to be making contact with the quarterback's head anyway. So,
but what we're finding is a lot of these quarterbacks, their head is making contact with the ground. Because of the way that we've legislated that the defense tackle, they're driving quarterbacks into the ground now, and then that whiplash is causing their head to hit the ground. I don't know if we've actually solved the problem, but
yeah, I against the spread, it is a real thing, but it's been a real thing forever. The entirety of this game, all the way back to the beginning, of wearing helmets. This has been a fact. This has been part of it. And guys, like Joe Burrow said, they know what they're getting into. They know the risks. They know what's ahead of them. And listen, if they choose that, then okay, I'm not going to get too bent out of shape about it. And then later on, when they're like, it's like, well, you did choose that. Like Brittany Griner. I don't like that she's in a Russian prison, but she did break the law. So, I mean, you get what you get when you go to a foreign country. And why the hell are you going to Russia during the time they're having a war with Ukraine? I mean, there's plenty of things you can say from the other side, but still not cool seeing her out there. You play football, the risk of getting hurt, but it still doesn't feel good. It still doesn't look good. And we want to try to minimize that as much as you can. So that's where the conversation is. It's more as like, hey, what can we do to kind of prevent that and kind of watch out for these guys? Not how do we make the game softer? Right. I'm not looking for that. Looking for other solutions.
Yeah, I don't even think anyone's asking for that. But I think at the same time, we are talking about human beings here. And anytime you hear something sad like Terry Bradshaw talking about, he wakes up in the morning and sometimes he doesn't know where he is. That kind of stuff is just sad to hear. And at least
like Terry Bradshaw probably woke up in the morning, didn't know where he was well before a concussion.
Maybe, but I mean, he played a pretty long time in the league and took some shots. And there was a point where the NFL was hiding this information. That was unfair. Yeah. Now that they're not hiding it and they're actually trying to make the equipment safer and better, I kind of just think that's the best we can hope for.
Yeah, and Randy's chuckle, do rugby players get as many concussions as NFL players?
They don't.
No, because it's a different kind of play as well. And soccer players do get concussions more often than you think they will get them. And like I said, we can't bubble wrap everything. We're not trying to be that way about this, but where you can make a difference, let's work hard on doing that. Where you can stop and save a guy from himself, we need to be doing that. And I think that's where a lot of this new focus is on. Again, not making the game softer, but making the game safer, trying to help people not die.
I actually looked it up the other day. Rugby players have more injuries total. So joint injuries, bone breaks, that sort of thing. But concussions, they have way less than NFL players do.
I'll tell you what, a bone break, you might walk with a limp, but at least you
walk.
You can think.
Yeah, it's
Floyd the barber says, "Yeah, I wish I didn't know where Terry Bradshaw was." Oh, okay. Baker's Cocky Hen says, "Why doesn't the XFL or one of these other leagues try something new? No linemen, no rush, 6-on-6. Seems like that would be more likely to succeed than doing the same thing, just not as well."
Yeah, isn't that the reason why indoor football works? It's not the same thing.
Okay, so nobody is rushing the quarterback. You have wide receivers and safeties and cornerbacks or whatever. What about run? There's no running. I guess running backs. Okay. No, I just don't feel like that's a good game, man. What do you think, Randy? Get rid of the offensive line and the running back.
He's saying that the XFL should do it.
Oh, just to see what it's like?
Yeah, not like to just experiment with all the different kind of ways you can.
Okay, I'll say go ahead
and all that.
Go ahead. You know why? Because I ain't watching the XFL. I ain't watching the USFL. Experiment all you want with that. I'm fine.
Yeah, and if you make something that looks different enough and is interesting, it's because my problem with those leagues is that they're discount football. That's
flag football, basically, though, Randy. That turns into flag football. Yeah. Except you can tackle the guy when he catches the ball.
Well, they're already trying to do that's what they're going to do. It's going to be flag football, Pro Bowl style. That's what they're doing with the Pro Bowl. So that's maybe under discussion with the owners to change this into some sort of neutered down football league.
Fine by me for the Pro Bowl. Fine by me for everything else. But you start changing the NFL too much, I ain't gonna watch no more. I mean, and what's the point? Again, I'm all for making things safer and trying to fix technology. But if you screw with this sport too much, we're all out.
And
Nobody wants
and
that.
I'm for experimenting. Just do that in the other leagues.
King Kitten says, speaking of Brittany Griner, if Putin starts setting off nuclear weapons out there, sports could be stopped longer than when COVID hit. I don't think we're going to get to that. I don't think you need to worry about that much. Boogie says, so Matt Ryan, clearly not the correct quarterback for the Colts. I know how to fix this. Great quarterback will be available next year. Russell Wilson, and you can get him on the cheap. You will never get Russell Wilson on the cheap.
That contract's already been inked, and the ink has dried, my friend.
Big George says, question for Randy White, 1580 The Fanatic, 99.3 FM, 95.9 FM in the East Valley. What do you think about the Coyotes' chances this season, since we're less than a week away from the season opener on Thursday against the Pittsburgh Penguins? Will we have a new weekly segment called Randy White's Hockey Dance Party featuring the Arizona Coyotes?
Well, I don't know about that, but George, I'm excited to see this team. They're a young team. Bill Armstrong has built this team kind of from the ground up. I don't know how competitive they're going to be. And quite frankly, we're not ready to be a competitive Stanley Cup contender, are we? We're in a 5,000 seat multi-purpose arena at ASU. Don't we need to get a shiny new stadium somewhere? Maybe, I don't know, in the middle of Scottsdale where all that money is. So everybody that's got money can go to the games and support this team. I don't know if this team is going to be great, but I will say I think it's going to be a different brand of hockey than we've been used to, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
There you go, George. Hope that answers your question. I hope that answers your question. Randy, I'm going to answer a question you did not ask.
Okay.
What the hell happened to Andy Isabella? Well, I'll tell you. He has joined the Ravens practice squad.
Hey,
so now
right.
we don't have to feel bad about making fun of him the other day.
Yeah, well.
A, he was not here to hear it. He was in Maryland. B, he has a job, so we don't have to feel guilty about it anymore.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I feel much better about that.
Licky Lips Johnson says, people with the initials RW are dumb as hell. Russell Westbrook, Russell Wilson, Randy White.
Really? Dumb as hell, huh?
The hell, Licky Lips Johnson.
Well, thanks, Licky Lips, for the upgrade.
Has Licky Lips Johnson been this mean the whole time?
I don't think so. All of a sudden,
he came out of nowhere.
Although he's a Raiders fan, and he said Raiders are going to smash the Cardinals. Who won that?
So what happened was what happened was the Cardinals won, and the Raiders went home losers.
Yeah. So Licky Lips Johnson must be a little bit bitter.
Probably.
Got it.
Maybe next time, Licky Lips. Maybe next time.
Don't call my friend dumb. I'll poke you in the eye. I ain't going to tell you what with. It's the Daily Lender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update for Arizona's new home for sports, The Fanatic. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Looking at some top 25 college football matchups on Saturday, number 19 Kansas hosting TCU. The Horned Frogs, a 7-point road favorite, minus 275. Kansas plus 220, over under 68.5. Number 25 LSU hosting number 8 Tennessee. The Volunteers, a 3-point road favorite, minus 150. The Tigers at home in Baton Rouge, plus 125, over under 64.5. One other top 25 game in the Pac-12, number 11 Utah taking on number 18 UCLA. Utah, 3.5-point favorite, over under 64.5. Red hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwiners.com. Save 75% when you use the promo code ACTION75. Experts.winnersandwiners.com. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Arizonans are facing big challenges these days. Rising costs at the grocery store, the gas pump, and the pharmacy. That's why Mark Kelly is doing whatever it takes in Washington to bring down costs, even when it means standing up to his own party. The son of 2 police officers, Mark grew up in a house where money was tight. He knows what it means for Arizonans when everyday items cost more. Thanks to Mark Kelly's work, Medicare will finally negotiate down prescription drug prices. Less money spent at the pharmacy means more money stays in your pocket. Mark is leading the effort to cut red tape for truckers and ease supply chain issues. And he's pushing for more domestic oil production to bring down gas prices. Because Mark knows that for a lot of people, every little bit counts right now. Senator Mark Kelly, looking out for Arizona, fighting for us.
I'm Mark Kelly, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mark Kelly for Senate.
Are you a planner? Do you like to plan ahead? Then, of course, you already have a plan to call Harmon Solar, right? Bruce Jacobs here. It should be at the top of your list to get solar now and enjoy huge savings next summer. Up to 85% on your monthly bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Then you can plan what to do with all that extra money. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, women-owned, local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
Go into Ben Bridge and ask to speak to a bridge. They aren't there. Shane Company, no one named Shane there. Robbins Brothers has been owned by a VC firm for years. Jared, that name came from a focus group. Hi, Diamond Dave Cantor, the only wholesale fourth generation diamond importer, GI graduate that you can actually meet in person. At Desert Wholesale Diamond, I'm importing the diamonds, designing and coordinating the custom rings, and I'm here. Deal with a full-bore retail store. You're paying their huge overhead, their shareholder profit, and multiple mid-level managers. Buying a diamond is a major life moment purchase. You should be dealing with the source, and I'm it. We're in a professional office building to give you the one-on-one service a purchase like this deserves. I'm connected to the largest diamond cutters in the world, cutting out all the layers that add to the price of a diamond.
Call 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow Dave on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
Monday Night Football is on 1580 The Fanatic. This week, the Chiefs are feeling pretty good with their show of dominance so far this season. The Raiders have been close, but so far it's a shaky start. They proved they can win after taking down the Broncos in Denver, but this week will be their biggest test so far. The Chiefs visit the Death Star in Vegas to take on the Raiders. It's Monday Night Football on your home for primetime NFL games. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
I'd like to put in a request. This music is way too energetic for a Friday afternoon. Daily Blender on 1580, 99.3 The Fanatic as we effort our way towards 6 p.m. and another great weekend here in Arizona. Speaking of weekend, football season is underway. And right now, it's the perfect time to download the FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, because new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back. If your first bet doesn't win, just sign up using my promo code Randy1580. FanDuel, all your favorite bets from all the money lines to point spreads to player props. You can combine your bets for a chance at even bigger payout with a same-game parlay. Live betting, where you get updated odds on games that have already started, and you get paid fast when you win. So you can't beat it. It's America's #1 sportsbook for a reason, all on an app that's safe and secure and super easy to use. Again, sign up today using my promo code Randy1580 for your no-sweat first bet. That's promo code Randy1580 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. The official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older. You must live in Arizona and be present here in the state. First online real money wager only. A refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
All right. Thank you, Randy. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been waiting for it all week, and now it's time to put them dance shoes on and enjoy something we like to call Keon Rose's college football dance party.
Yeah, baby. Lots of action this weekend, too, Keon. As a matter of fact, there's a game going on right now I want to ask you about. Live from Shea Stadium in Piscataway, New Jersey. Nebraska facing Rutgers. It's happening right now. Who do you got in this matchup?
Yeah, already I'm at the point where I don't know if I can believe in Nebraska anymore. I know they have talent. I know there are players on that team that want to win. Scott Frost is gone, but the problems aren't solved. They still have issues. There's still a culture there that loses a lot and loses in a variety of different ways. And so, yeah, as Rutgers can be a very bad football team at times, that they're they're probably going to beat Nebraska, and they're already winning, so that's an easy pick to make.
All right, tomorrow morning, 9
a.m.
But
they're playing.
at the crack of 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, number 4 Michigan travels to Bloomington, Indiana, to take on the vaunted IU Hoosiers. Who do you got in that matchup?
Michigan's rolling every single week. You know, the Wolverines show up, they handle their business, and it's not just one way. Some games they've got to run the ball to be able to get wins. Some games they've got to be able to throw the ball, and I think Cade McNamara has done a very good job. I know Jim Harbaugh said, well, we've got 2 quarterbacks at the beginning of the season. I think it's safe to say that McNamara has separated himself from the pack. Or sorry, not McNamara, McCarthy has separated himself from the pack to be the guy that's throwing the football in that program. I think that Michigan playing as well as they're playing, I know Indiana can be tough to beat, especially at home, but the Wolverines have been dominating teams. And so I'm going to go on that particular trend and probably go chalk here and say the Wolverines get this win.
Sort of a fun SEC matchup tomorrow. I know you'll show some interest because number 8 Tennessee travels to Red Stick, Louisiana. That's what Baton Rouge means. Red Stick, Baton Rouge. Tiger Stadium is LSU is waiting there to take on the Tennessee Volunteers. Who you got in that matchup?
Not going to lie to you, I am a little bit surprised that this is not a primetime game.
Right.
The way that both of these teams have been playing lately, I know LSU made themselves look very embarrassing in the first week of the season, the way that they lost. But they've won 4 in a row since. Tennessee, obviously 4-0. You would think that this would be a bigger game and a bigger deal, but whatever. So here's the deal with Tennessee and LSU. Tennessee likes to play with tempo, just a ton of it. They have a bunch of plays per game. They like to put the pedal to the metal and get ahead of teams. And then once they get ahead of you, now you're forced to try and come back against them. Their secondary can be vulnerable at times. That's the opening for LSU. But we're also coming off of an LSU team that played Auburn last week. And even though they won, they passed for a grand total of 85 yards. I'm going to go Tennessee because the one weakness that they really, really have, I don't think LSU can take advantage of.
All right, next game up. This is an exciting game. I can't wait to see what happens here because number 19 Kansas, that's the highest they've been ranked in quite some time. They're at home in Lawrence, Kansas, and they're awaiting their rival 17. Well, their opponent, not rival. 17th ranked TCU comes to town tomorrow. What do you see in this game?
I've been watching college football since 2004. I was 14 years old.
Yeah.
And I have not witnessed a single season in that entire time where Kansas has been good at football. So I don't understand.
And I don't know why you.
You said
you look like a fool. I mean, Licklips Johnson already called me dumb and everything.
I'm not trying to make you look like a fool. I am trying to reinforce what you're saying. I'm trying to.
I can't believe it.
You said quite some time. I'm giving a specific length of time.
Oh, you have to. Oh, okay.
To add to what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Okay. So here's the deal. I don't know what to make of this. I've never seen a good Kansas team. This is unprecedented territory for, quite frankly, everybody involved. Jalen Daniels is their quarterback, and that dude is awesome. He runs around, he makes plays, things break down. And their head coach, Lance Leipold, is legitimately making a very strong case for being the most coveted coach in college football. There's no way Kansas keeps him unless they're willing to pony up the cash, which historically they have not actually done. But Sonny Dykes, TCU, he's no slouch either. He's rebuilt the TCU program, and he's taking over for Gary Patterson. Need I remind you, Gary Patterson's statue is outside of the TCU stadium. That's who he's replacing, and he's doing a fantastic job of it. And I think the TCU, because they can win, grind them out games where things get really, really ugly, I'm going to lean with the Horned Frogs against Kansas, but that might be a little bit biased because, like I said, I've never seen Kansas actually be good at sports.
All right. This is a game that I'm kind of torn. I'm a Boomer Sooner, faithful listener to the Daily Blender, Oklahoma Sooner fan. They're in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas this weekend. Tickets for as low as $175 if you care to fly there and see if you could go to the Red River rivalry between Texas and OU. OU playing the home team this year. I know you're a Texas fan, but try to brush your partiality aside here, Keon, and give us a breakdown of this Triple R game in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas.
Yeah, I want to be unbiased, and I feel like I am, but I looked at some numbers for Oklahoma that are very troubling, and they're not good. Brent Venables was supposed to come in and fix this defense, and last week they probably had the worst defensive performance that they've had since he's been there. Boomer Sooner, cover your ears, because I've got some things for you, some numbers here that are not pretty, and Sooner fans don't have to hear it if they don't want to. Yards per carry, rushing yards per game, runs of 10 yards plus per game, and rushing touchdowns allowed. Oklahoma is dead last in the Big 12 in all of those things. They missed 20 tackles last week, and they are going to have to try and tackle Bijan Robinson, who has broken 46 tackles this year, and I believe he leads the nation with that stat. So this is not a good look for Oklahoma, because Texas might actually be able to beat Oklahoma without having to throw the football. They will, because Sark will call passing plays, but they may not have to. I don't know what to make of this. I don't think I've seen Oklahoma's defense look this bad in a very long time. I'm sure Brent Venables will turn things around eventually, because I think he's an awesome coach, but it's not happening right now.
9 a.m. tomorrow on ABC. Let's go to the Pac-12 real quick, as number 11, Utah, rolls into the Rose Bowl in Pasadena to take on number 18 ranked UCLA. First of all, did you see the Bruins being this type of a power team that they would be in the top 20? And second of all, who do you got in the game?
I did not see the Bruins being this good. I mean, the first few years of Chip Kelly didn't leave me with any ability to think that the Bruins had room to grow. They looked like they were good. They looked like they were all right, but it looked like the game had passed Chip Kelly by. And honestly, to see them putting it all together has been really, really interesting, because that maybe the game hasn't passed Chip Kelly by entirely. And I think that is worth mentioning. However, Utah is really damn good. And I know that Utah lost in week 1 to Florida, and that might have been the last time anybody really sat down and watched this team play. But they first off play UCLA very well. Their last 4 matchups with UCLA, they have beaten UCLA 182-54 in the total of all 4 games. And they've been hitting 40 in every single game that they've played, at least. And Utah is also one of 3 Power 5 schools in the top 12 in scoring offense and scoring defense. So I'm going to go Utah in this game, even though I'm actually surprised by how well UCLA is. Yes, Jeffrey.
We have some texts for you, Keon. Chief Skull says, Keon, when will you prognosticate on the Minnesota Golden Gophers?
Minnesota Golden Gophers.
I guess he wants to hear about the Golden Gophers.
We can do it. Let me see if we can pull up here. I don't exactly recall who they're playing off the top of my head.
The fact that he has no idea, it kind of tells you something, Chief Skull.
Well, we didn't prepare for Minnesota Golden Gophers, but
Straight Striper says, calling out Randy White things negatively seems real ironic. You know, the RW things, and you can't even say the one RW thing you want. You know, getting a Raiders win. Pretty good, Straight Striper.
We'll prognosticate your Golden Gophers next week. They don't play this week.
Oh, there you go.
They're off this week.
Come on, Chief Skull.
Speaking of Golden Gophers, a Big Ten matchup between 2 former powerhouses. The Paul Chryst-less Wisconsin Badgers move into Ryan Field, Evanston, Illinois, to take on Northwestern. Just kind of a side note, a Big Ten note here. Who do you got in this game? We'll keep it short because we've got to get to a couple of other big games.
Yeah, I'm even without Paul Chryst, I'm still going to go with Wisconsin. And we talked about it earlier too. Paul Chryst, should he even have been fired? With how long he's been there and the success he's had. Graham Mertz is a really good quarterback for Wisconsin too. I'm not a big fan of Ryan Helinski with Northwestern, and they're 1-4. So I'm going to go Wisconsin.
Okay, and Texas A&M is traveling to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, to take on the Crimson Tide. Yeah. Alabama rolls, don't they?
They have to. I mean, if this was last year's A&M team, obviously you have a different conversation. But Texas A&M, if you want to talk about failure to launch, that is what Texas A&M's entire season has come down to. Their offense just doesn't work. It's a bad offense. And Jimbo Fisher's supposed to be an offensive guy, so he's got some questions to obviously answer for, because he's pulled in top 5 recruiting class after top 5 recruiting class, and he had to defend himself from Nick Saban and the NIL stuff. If in fact they are paying those guys, and they're overpaying everybody on that team.
Yeah, they're not getting a return on their investment.
And I know that Alabama and Bryce Young have, the issue with his shoulder. So Bryce Young may or may not be ready to go. And if he goes, he may not be 100%. But until I see something different from Texas A&M's offense, I'm not picking them to win anything against top 10, top 15 opponents in this country.
All right, we don't care about number 12 Oregon beating up on Arizona. That's going to happen. By the way, your ticket prices at the stadium out there in Tucson, way overpriced. $41 a ticket. Please give me a break. Let's go on to the game that really matters. 21 Washington coming to Arizona State University, where the ticket prices are reasonable, $19. It's a 1 p.m. game at Sun Devil Stadium. Who's your pick in the premier game of the week?
Yeah, got sad news. It's
the
Huskies.
Damn.
They're a great football team. They went to UCLA last week and lost. And that was their first loss. But as we talked about, it looks like UCLA is starting to pull things together. They're undefeated. Meanwhile, the Sun Devils are still moving on from the Herm Edwards era. The offense is playing faster. The defense is playing faster, but it's still going to take some time, and it's going to take a whole lot of work on the part of Sean Aguano and his staff. But the way the roster is constructed,
nobody can hear you over the brass of the amazing Sun Devil marching band. Nobody can hear you, Keon.
And that might be fair.
No one can hear you, Keon.
Boogie says Michigan, Tennessee, and Utah is a great parlay. Okay. Hefty Lefty says, got to pitchfork that penis.
What?
Ow.
Sounds painful.
King of Kitten says, but Jimbo's son's jewelry is on point.
I think I missed that. I'll go ahead and look that up.
Boogie says, things about the Coyotes I'll read later. I'm trying to find the college stuff. Boomer Sooner says, I know, Keon, I'm heartbroken. Oh, well, I'll keep being a fan. He says, lunch, Keon. I think he's making a lunch bet with you.
Yeah, no, we kind of talked about it earlier in the week. Yeah.
Beer Nut says, hook 'em, go Texas. OU sucks. Beer Nuts will not get lunch.
Will not get lunch, but that's how I generally feel. But I have a lot of respect for the Sooners. It's one of those rivalries for me.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, Randy, don't let the sausage liquor get you down. K-State crushes Iowa State, though, right?
I don't know. I'm not the expert here.
Yeah,
who you got, K-State or Iowa State?
Iowa State's scrappy, but I really like where K-State is right now. Yeah, I'm going to go Kansas State.
All right.
I wouldn't look at sausage, but I put my mouth all over a brat. I might have some brats this weekend. Those sound pretty good. Some hot dogs and some hamburgers, and
especially if you get them cooked just right and there's a snap.
Oh yeah, that little snap and that little painful fountain of molten lava temperatured grease at you. Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Guess the Spread says, I love the segment, Keon, especially your Utah pick. This week, I got Utah to cover, K-State to win, Illinois to cover, Oregon State to cover. Might take UNLV to win live tonight if they go down early. They are an improved team.
I agree. UNLV, that San Jose State game, I know it's going to be one of those games where in the grand scheme of college football, it's not a college football playoff. That's going to be a fun game to watch. That's going to be absolutely fun.
I almost talked about it, but there were so many other games I wanted to get to.
I know it was loaded this week, Randy. No, you're good.
You did the right thing, Randy.
Thank
you did the right thing.
Thanks,
Don't let
Jeffco.
anybody tell you otherwise.
Thanks, Jeffco.
We got to take a break. When we come back, I'll clean up this mess of a text line. And of course, we have on this date in Big George's sports history coming up too. Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym. Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again.
And
work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text TAP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text TAP to 321-321. That's TAP to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
John, what are you doing? Get in my car. Why are you walking to work?
Thanks, man. It's these insanely high gas prices. They are draining my bank account. I can't afford to drive anymore.
Dude, don't walk. Just do what I do because I never pay full price for gas anymore. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, you're telling me you get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SMART for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code SMART. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SMART for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SMART.
This is Aaron Warby, host of the Bulls and the Bears Radio Hour. In the show, we teach the tools, rules, and strategies that professionals use to outperform in the markets. Having those skills has never been more important than it is in our current economy. These are times that history teaches us that the masses are impoverished while the few making the right moves are gaining generational type wealth. At Online Trading Academy, we teach people just like you how to make the same moves at the same time as Wall Street elites. And right now, we have an end of summer special. Join us for an intensive 3-day market timing course covering the best of the trading and investing strategies of our time. Text us now and register for the course at 66% off the normal $299 price. Text $99 to 25029 and get this class for just $99. Again, that's $99 to 25029.
1580, The Fanatic.
David Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Baker's Cocky Hen says, is Licky Lips Johnson married to that newer texter that wanted their name to be Immaculate Inception? I have no idea. I do not know who's married to who. Hefty Lefty says, Jimbo Fisher overpaying players? Does he work for the Broncos?
Maybe.
Big George says, wow, Keon was leading this segment of Keon Rose's dance party. He was heading towards his second straight victory, but then he insulted Randy's age. So now he is disqualified for unsportsmanlike conduct. Randy White gets first place. Jeffrey O'Brien, second place.
When did I insult Randy's age?
You got DQ'd early. Oh, I heard it. You did.
The judge DQ'd you. That's
But
all.
when-
I'm
when
sorry,
did it-
I can't argue with the
I'm
judge.
appealing to the judge. When did
You're
it?
not very appealing to anybody. That's why you're single.
But when did it happen?
Oh, damn.
When did I insult Randy's age?
You have to listen to the podcast later. Somebody will post it.
Someone will post the podcast.
Big George says, Jeffrey, the Padres already beating your New York Mets. They're not my Mets. I don't care what happens with them. I just, whatever it was, I'd kind of like to just prolong Bruce Jacobs' suffering a little bit. But yeah, the Padres are beating the Mets 3-0 in the second inning. Slam Diego in full effect with home runs by Trent Grisham and Josh Bell.
You know who's pitching tonight for the Padres?
Who dat?
You Darvish.
Yeah, that ain't gonna hold up, George. Yeah. Let's clean up the text line so we can get out of here. Let's see. Gotta go all the way down here. For some reason, Floyd the barber says, Ron Wolfley. And that was I don't know why. I have no idea why. Good Cat says stadium in the middle of Scottsdale where all the credit card millionaires are, huh?
Yeah,
I'm not sure they would have a fan base there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's where it needs to go. Yeah.
Booger Wolf says, I think the Broncos' backup quarterback is Jeff's mom. She passed the initial interviews and bench press 4 hundo. That's pretty good.
4 hundo.
I know it was a slam, but I enjoyed it. Licky Lips Johnson says, we couldn't catch Midget Murray. Wish we could have sacked his ass like we sacked Corny Wilson. Boogie says, Coyotes, 1, the Yotes aren't ready to be contenders. 2,
No.
they'll be located at Priest and Rio Salado in Tempe in 3 years. And 3, the small mullet arena was built to be an ice hockey arena. It will be a cool experience.
It's called a multi-purpose room. And yes, I know it's for the ice hockey team. And yes, it is an intimate evening with the Coyotes getting their ass kicked on a regular basis.
And it's going to be a fun experience that because there's only 5,000 seats, none of us can afford to go to.
And because it's an ASU building, it will be in the round. The whole thing will spin right before your eyes.
Yeah.
Why didn't they do it like Gamage?
Celebrity. So it was it Gamage or Celebrity Theater?
Celebrity Theater? Something like that.
I saw Thin Lizzy there.
George Carlin was on there.
The stage turned. It was never a bad seat.
See, if you do that with an ice hockey rink.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Think about that.
Stockton Slap says, so what you're saying is you like devouring wieners that have a snap. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Don't you?
I'll put a wiener in my mouth.
Doesn't everyone?
Baker's Cocky Hen says Padres taking down Bruce's Mets. Next up, Ralph's Dodgers.
I mean, at this point, yeah.
Bruno Baller says in the best Andy Griffith episode was when Floyd hired Barbara Eden to come in and do nails. I never saw that. Like the actual person or just an actress. Okay, I think. Here's one last thing from King of Kittens. He says, all this stuff about new stadiums and arenas, doesn't Phoenix and Sky Harbor airports squawking about building heights and planned developments? Doesn't it sound a little familiar? The Cardinals Stadium should have been basically right there in that location in Tempe 20 years ago. So is that why the Cardinals are out in the boonies? Because of all that kind of nonsense? They were going to try to be there. Oh, I remember the old Los Arcos Mall. Weren't they talking about doing something there at one point?
Yeah, I think that was going to be an ice stadium, a hockey stadium.
I don't know, King of Kittens, but here we are. Hefty Lefty says, is Thin Lizzy the alter ego of Lizzo? That's just not right. Bruno Baller says, he says Thin Lizzy. Randy, so the boys are back in town?
Amen.
All right, before this just gets worse and worse, not sure how, but it might. Let's do this. Time for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1964, Bob Uecker, who had been shagging fly balls out in left field, tried his hand at catching batting practice balls with a tuba, but an unsuspecting member of the Dixieland band left it unattended. Much to the delight of the crowd, the comedic St. Louis Cardinals backup catcher was successful in 2 of his 6 attempts to snag a fly ball with a tuba. The owner was not impressed. Back to me, Jeffrey.
Yeah, and I think as the story goes, if Bob Uecker told it right, I think that the ball got lodged down in the horn and they had to disassemble the horn.
Yeah.
And it cost a lot of money to get that ball out of there. Yeah.
$250.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much $250 is worth now, but that ain't cheap. And the poor guy is just like, I can't tuba my tuba now, man. It's a Dixieland band. It's not like some annoying marching band. And
they kind of need the tuba.
Yeah.
It's their sound.
So the team did pay for it. And also there were dents because tongue he was trying to catch those balls.
Yeah.
I love that story. I don't care. Good for you, Bob Uecker. I can't. Who would not even? I'd have done the same thing. It'd be worth the $250. If I own the team, I'm like, all right, Bob, that was good. We're gonna do that. There's something. Oh, hey, I got some stuff because again, I don't want to talk about last night.
You got some stuff?
No, I got some stuff to talk. I needed good news. I have good news for everybody.
Okay.
Good life news. I
All
got
right.
sport. I got the wheel of sports coming up here in a minute. But listen, this is good life news.
All right.
It has come up on this show when we have talked about the robots and the fact the robots are eventually going to kill us all. My wife thinks that in 30 years, the robots will be caring for us in our old age. So I shouldn't say too much. You know, maybe the Angevino nursing home is going to be robots in the house taking care of us.
I mean, if they're taking care of us the way that they take care of everybody in the Matrix, I don't really want it.
I wouldn't mind going to the Matrix.
Right? That would be badass.
That'd actually be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So, but let me just tell you some good news, at least right now. You know, them jumping doggy robot things you see all the time, doing backflips and tricks and whatever. They've even been in beer commercials. Well, Boston Dynamics, the people who make them things, say, we promise we will not weaponize the robots. We promise.
Famous last words, man.
It's good news. Bad news is China don't give a damn. They've already done it. They have already, I've seen videos, machine gun on the little jumping doggy thing running through. And it's funny because the robot is heavy, but not heavy enough to not like recoil back and almost go backwards when it shoots that giant machine gun on it. And to make things worse, kind of like the movie Minority Report, you remember that with Tom Cruise, the robot doggies with machine guns on top are going to get dropped from drones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nightmare.
Hey, Boston Dynamics, we're going to need you to think about that pledge.
Go ahead and weaponize those, will you?
Yeah, China's already doing it. So it was a nice thought, but just I'm more worried about the AI than I am the actual robots, to be honest.
It's the combination that scares me personally.
Well, you got a guy with a remote control or an AI. Either way, that thing is coming to shoot your brains out. So I don't care who's running the thing, but I want to know.
The AI can't die. That's the
thing. I want the AI to not want to kill us. You know what I'm saying? I want the AI, because remember, nursing home Jeffrey with the robot, which my wife, I'm sure, is saving money up for to take care of us. What if I say the wrong thing? You know, and maybe you think this is funny, Jeffrey O'Brien. Robot to make it look like an accident.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So then there's, I guess, good robot news. Scientists have created AI-powered little lasers to neutralize cockroaches. So what you do is you got a bug problem there. You drop a bunch of these little nano robots. They run around your house and they kill the robots. I mean, they kill the cockroaches.
That's pretty cool.
Some of them don't kill the cockroaches. Why? As a lesson to the others, it goes back and says, we shouldn't go in there. That hurts. We're not going in there. Now, the problem here is that when China gets the hands on this, that's going to be, how do you get attacked by 1 million laser powered cockroaches in your house? You know, the ones that are supposed to kill the cockroaches. Now there's like 100 million little robots coming in at you. You know, what you got? Enough. There's nothing. You're just dead.
Yeah.
It's over. So now we're going to need these scientists. We're going to need those to weaponize. Sorry. It's going to be all robot fighting now, you know, and us just being murdered in our houses by robots.
Could be. Yeah.
I thought this was supposed to be good news.
Oh, I got the good news. I got that. Sorry.
Yeah.
I got a little distracted by the robots. But here, scientists, although they're not just working on the robots, they're working on this. Now, I don't know if the beer our grandparents drank was better than what we drink today. I don't know if they have changed formulas so much that it's just not as good as it used to be. But researchers in Belgium say they've come up with a way to make our beer taste better. And for centuries, breweries would let it ferment in big open vats. Then in the 1970s, almost all breweries switched to closed pressurized vats because it's cheaper and easier to make big batches, probably a little more sanitary, right? Well, one side effect, though, it affected the flavor. The yeast couldn't really stand up to the pressure, and it made the beer taste kind of bad. A new study has now eliminated the side effect by finding the gene in the yeast that creates the kind of banana-like flavor responsible for most of the flavor in beer. And then they genetically modified it to stand up to the pressure of a closed vat. So genetically modified yeast to make your beer taste like it used to.
Wow.
And they say it means pretty soon beer might taste better, or at least closer to what your grandparents were drinking.
Better taste, less filling. Better taste, less filling.
Well, just better tasting beer. Yeah. Well, that's what scientists should be working on, not robots that'll kill us in our sleep.
Exactly.
Wouldn't you rather they be focused on that? You know, I mean,
yes.
Thank you for the boners. But well, I mean, the scientists worked hard to make sure we were hard. So now making the beer taste better, that's good. We have other things that maybe cancer. Maybe we work on that next. I don't want to tell you what to do.
Just saying.
Maybe.
Just saying.
Bruno Baller says science and beer. What a combination. Thank you, science. Thank you for at least that. Big George wants to know, hey, Randy, is there a dust storm warning for the East Valley? Yesterday, there was a dust storm in Arizona so big it made its way all the way to San Diego last night. When is this damn monsoon going to end?
Well, I don't really I don't have any warnings up here on the console right now. So I think you might be safe. Yeah, there was a pretty good one last night in the South Valley right now, heading west towards you, Big George. There is looks like some storm cells. Gila Bend, south of Casa Grande. It's going westward. So be careful tonight there in San Diego, out on your patio with your little flame going and your perfect temperature overlooking the ocean there in Carlsbad.
Yeah,
from your fancy backyard, Big George. Enjoy.
Palm Springs had a bunch of dust storms. Their dust is a lot different than ours. But you know what I say? Enjoy the dust storm, George. Enjoy the dust storm. You and your perfect weather. Against the Spread says the Russians trained suicide dogs in World War II. They starved the dogs and put food underneath the tank to blow up the tank with explosives. The only problem is they used Russian tanks to train the dogs. So when the combat happened, Russian suicide dogs would run right at the Russian tanks instead of the enemy tanks.
Yep. That's a good point.
That is funny and really sad all at the same time. Hefty Lefty says a company's promise, like Boston Dynamics, is about as credible as, hey, dude, trust me, bro. Trust me. Trust me, bro.
Yep. Another good point.
Stockton Slap says, build the Austin Loiters sexy model robots. I think it means Austin Powers. Remember the Fembots?
Yeah.
Booker Wolf says, China is filled with a bunch of vaginas. Okay, that should end the show right there.
Yeah,
it's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
It's a Friday.
Hi, Jada Cantor, Desert Wholesale Diamond, and my dad, Diamond Dave. Lots of people sell diamonds in Scottsdale, but no one like my dad. He really imports diamonds directly from overseas. A few people say this. He really does this. Then he wholesales them direct to you. He designs and manufactures custom rings for wholesale in his own facility, providing top quality service for the lowest price. He does this in our professional offices, giving you one-on-one attention while saving you the rent and overhead of a high-end or big box chain. He saves so much, and he'll do the same for you. Don't pay retail. Work with the 4th generation GIA graduate, diamond importer, and get her the diamond she wants at a price you want.
Call 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, K-A.